What a day and what a weekend coming up. The NFL is king. The National Football League is king because they own the newspaper and they own the front pages and they own everything. Welcome aboard. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. And also on top of that, we look forward to you also in your super chats. Thank you very much. They all go to the top. And I say this to you with all due respect. I've never seen a quarterback. By the way, it's not just me now that's starting to throw out disrespect towards your quarterback. It's not just me, man. It's national media people, too, doing it and throwing disrespect at Jalen Hurts. So I was listening to a soundbite by Albert Breer. And he said that A.J. Brown's camp, and I'm paraphrasing here, that A.J. Brown's camp is doing their due diligence. They're doing the work. And if they're really going to continue to push for a trade, here's two things that A.J. Brown wants. Ready? He wants numbers, targets. He wants a better pass offense, and he wants a quarterback that can get him the football. I don't know how that's not shitting on the quarterback. That's not me. That's a guy who's plugged into A.J. Brown's people. Okay? It's there. It is there for you. How you doing? A.J. Brown's people want out. Now, I will say this. If I were him, I'd be very careful about wanting and where I might land. Okay? I might be very careful. Okay? Rumblings on Jaylen Carter being traded and being made available for Max Crosby. Well, let me comment on that right now. And let me get back to AJ here. Let me write it down here. This is the second time now I've heard Jaylen Carter's name being mentioned in a trade. I heard it with Micah Parsons, and I now have heard it with Max Crosby. I got to tell you, it's got to be a character thing now for the Eagles. It's got to be a character thing. And they're concerned about the player's character and about the player's motivation. You don't get rid of a guy like that unless you're nervous about the guy's character. Okay? So if you're hearing rumblings about that having Jaylen Carter's name being mentioned in a potential trade package for Max Crosby, it's because they got a problem with the player and his character. Justin Herbert, Mike McDaniel, and the Chargers are perfect for AJ. Seem like that's a perfect destination. It does. Man, you're giving up on that player already. Plus, personally, I'm starting to believe that the Eagles don't want to pay that number. Wow. Eagles have made DT Jaylen Carter available in a trade that could land Max Crosby. Eagles have floated the idea of including Jaylen Carter in a Max Crosby trade. Now, until we start seeing a little bit more of this, but boy, it's got to be a character issue. Zander put my Carter jersey on ice for now. NFL players are not Eagles' soft-ass franchise. Seals, the goal is to get Crosby next to Carter, not sacrifice one or the other. That's not building an unstoppable D-line. Eagles are BBQ if this is true. Word on the Now, remember something too. Wait a second. Actually, Steve's not wrong. Steve's not wrong. And I'll tell you why. You're in the land right now of make believe. So things that you hear, Steve's not really off here. Okay, he's not. They're people could float the idea. You know who may have floated that idea out? Drew Rosenhaus. Seals, how many good years does Crosby have left realistically? Player takes great care of himself. I disagree with John McMullen. I think the guy's a good football player. And and it's not that John doesn't think he's not a good football player, by the way. So who do you think AJ gets moved to? I'm still saying, okay, I'm still saying that he gets moved to New England. So we get rid of Milton Williams and then trade Jaylen Carter. Big fail by Howie and the organization. Those mofos are seriously dumb. Prince, hang in there. I'm always a little bit suspect of the shit that I'm hearing now. Okay? Laurie wasn't happy about the spitting. I don't think he was happy about the play. And I don't think he was happy about the attitude of the player. I think the player is kind of making people a little bit nervous. I know this. I'll tell you this. If you got rid of Jaylen Carter and you got something in return for the player, okay, and you got, I would want clearly Max Crosby, Jaylen Carter, wow. What a fall from grace that would be with the Eagles if, depending on what they got back in return. Maybe they believe in Moro Jomo and Davis together. They're more reliable. So as you see Rashawn Gary going to be released by the Packers, Gary's a better player than Phillips. How about this? I never thought of this. You're really getting rid of a $30 million a year player and Jaylen Carter if you get Max Crosby. If you get Max Crosby, hell, the Eagles might draft another defensive tackle. Ever since the sex doll in the locker room, it was over. Fire Sirianni. Fuck Howie and sell the team, Lori. Baby shoulders not going to hold up. So here's what you got to worry about, Twiz. Twiz, think about this with think about this, okay? So you got to worry about the shoulders and the attitude. Let me take a look look at Rashawn Gary. Let's see, Rashawn Gary. He's 28 years old, too. Wow, is he a way better player than Phillips? 9.5, 6, 9, 7.5, 7.5. And he's durable. Only 1 year he was injured, and that was 22. And he's 28 years old. I would clearly take that guy in the Philadelphia Eagles. His last 4 years, 6 sacks, 9 sacks, 7.5, 7.5. He's 6'5", 278. He's 280 pounds. He's 6'5", 280. So your bookends could be Rashawn Gary and Max Crosby. Man, I'm in. Sign me the fuck up. Draft another DT next to Carter, or excuse me, next to Davis. Plus, Davis gets a big bonus. Sills, if you were GM, would you be doing with AJ? Would you make that trade for Carter for Crosby? The AJ thing is more complex because of the money. The Carter for Crosby, it makes sense. They got a problem with his shoulders and his attitude. And I would think Vic has something to do with that. Now, look, let's be careful and let's play and let's stay in the lane that his name's being floated out. It might be Carter that's old man out instead of AJ. It could be flexing. Who would you rather get rid of, Jaylen Carter or AJ Brown? Little off topic. You think it's all said and done, Ohtani will be the greatest ball? He hit that grand slam last night, and they annihilated Taiwan 13-0. I fucking watched that thing. It was stupid great. He is an insane ball player. How he's panicking? I don't think that. Shields, would you feel comfortable giving Carter $30 million? I'll wait. No way. I don't. I don't feel that. I don't feel. Okay. I'll tell you that would change my drafting too a little bit. Let me show you something here. So you got Jordan Davis in there, and you're going to pay him potentially $20 million. And if you do get rid of Carter and you make that Carter for a Crosby deal, I'm not giving a one-up. I don't have to give a one-up now. And when I turn around then in the draft, and when I go down into the draft, and when I take that Florida kid at defensive tackle, when I take that kid Caleb Banks, that Caleb Banks kid is 6'6", 326. And he's compared to Dexter Lawrence, and he ran a 5 40. Okay? He ran a 5 40. You get him on a rookie deal. You're able to bring in Crosby, and you have a guy on a rookie contract. By the way, it's a character. So again, Daz is okay with the character issues and the injuries. Okay. Six, limited to 3 games due to broken foot, ranked top 5 in the SEC amongst pressures. Heavy hands, consistent force in the pocket, anchors the D line. Displays rare quick and twitch abilities at 330 pounds. You'd be the biggest defensive tackle combination in pro football history with that kid Downs and Jordan Davis. It'd be the biggest defensive tackle combo I've ever seen. Carter's not a dominating player. He's not what people thought he would be. I'd hang in there. Seals, Bryce Huff was good before we got him. He approved us moving Reddick for that guy. Don't trust his opinion. Can you imagine having a 6'6", 6'6" defensive tackle combination in the middle? That would make me want to keep Nakobe Dean. That would make me keep Dean. By the way, if you move Carter, you keep Dean. You keep Dean, and you might be able to keep Jalen Phillips. You keep Jalen Phillips and Dean and Blankenship with that move. I will say I thought Carter would be better than when we drafted him. He's been good, but I thought he'd be the best ever to do it at that position. I've been screaming at Crosby for 2 years while getting shit on by J-Max of the world. The whole point is for Carter. Yeah, but if Carter regressed, I move Bond next year, Rob. I could pay Nakobe Dean $12 million then. If then the promised money of $30 million, I could split it two ways. Phillips and with Nakobe. Remember, when you sign somebody for money, someone's got to be moved. Always remember that. Someone's got to be moved. Like here, do you guys understand something? Why do you guys think that Milton Williams and Josh Sweat were moved? Why do you think they were moved? Because you gave contract extensions to Cam Jurgens. You gave extensions to Barkley. Who else did you give money to? And you paid Zach Bond $17 million. They had to move, though, 35, what was it? 26 and 20. You moved $46 million bucks, and you moved Huff. You paid all those guys with money you moved. Okay? When you went like this, 26 you let walk out for Milton, another 20 for what's his name? For Josh Sweat. You let loose Bryce Huff $17 million bucks. That's $63 million. You took that $63 million and you gave it to Cam Jurgens, you gave it to Barkley, and you gave it to Bond. You just move money around. And that's how teams do it. If you're going to pay someone, someone goes. I think, get this, I never thought they would hedge on Jaylen Carter. But by the way, I don't think it's a stupid thought. I don't believe it. I believe Carter regressed because of injury. If he's healthy, I believe he returns. His character has nothing to do with his health. Shields, would you trade Jahad? No. For Marvin Harrison Jr.? Probably. But I wouldn't want to. If that makes sense. I think Campbell's going to be a good ball player. I like the kid. I have a problem with him, man. That's the least of my problems, Jahad Campbell. I want to get him on the field coming in 2026. If I wake up and see this trade go through, I'm going to fly to Philly and pick it outside of NovaCare. Let's just say Max pans out. Max has panned out. Carter hasn't. McKee, Brown, and Carter for Crosby, and that's way too much. McKee, Brown, Crosby for Crosby in a fourth rounder? Would this work? I have no interest in that. I'm not getting rid of my backup quarterback, A.J. Brown, Jaylen Carter for that in a fourth. If I gave up McKee, Brown, and Carter, I'd want the Raiders to send me a 2 and a 3. Jaylen Carter has been everything we thought he was. Nothing, another player getting that much attention on our defense. Fake-ass fans. This guy's full of shit. That guy has not done that. Actually, he's had one good year, and he had players around him like Josh Sweat and Milton Williams. When those players left, as I said would happen, he regressed. He regressed with the amount of reps they gave him. He couldn't hold up. By the way, I want to see something here. Let me go into something else over here. I wonder if I can look this up. Kyle, are you in here? Kyle, I want you to do me a favor if you can find this. I want to know how many snaps a year that Fletcher Cox played. And I want to compare that to Jaylen Carter's amount of snaps. And so that'll give us some context, Kyle. If everybody's full of shit about the amount of reps that the guy took, if he was in the same context and in the same room of how many reps that Fletcher Cox took on a year-to-year basis. Okay? Do you think something big will happen? It looks like it's maybe going to with either AJ or Carter. Carter's worth every penny of a max deal. Never in a million years. Okay? He had 683 snaps in 2023. Is that okay? NJ, is that Fletcher Cox's range between 720 and 750 for 13 years? So for about 13 years, is that right? Fishing Maniac. Okay. So for about 13, 14 years, this guy has had what? 7,500 snaps total in his entire career? About 750 snaps. Okay? That's pretty impressive over 14 years. Carter was on the team at 23 with Sweat and Milton. How did that D-line look? Because the middle of your line and your linebackers were fucking terrible. Your D-tackle and your linebackers were the worst in the league. How did that look? Your linebacking core was the worst in pro football. Obviously, I'm not a GM, but if I was, I'd risk it for a player like that. You'd risk $35 million? Okay? Now it's Carter's turn to get bashed. I'm not bashing him. Well, wait a minute. I am. Okay, Marsh, you think that guy fucking played well? You guys know how Howie is with his fifth rounders. This is a stupid take. Yeah, fifth rounders, I'm not talking that. So did you think he played well? As a matter of fact, right? Great question. Finally, someone asked me, Sills, would you move Carter? Whew. Well, wait a minute. Carter's name was mentioned in the Micah Parsons deal. So let me ask you this. One time you go like this. Let's just say Micah Parsons is full of shit. And let's go down that lane that Micah Parsons is full of shit, saying that he was involved in a potential trade that would have traded him to Dallas. Let's put the tea leaves together here. You see this guy here? Let's put the tea leaves together. Okay? Micah Parsons says that Carter was involved in a potential trade with the Dallas Cowboys to send him to the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's say it is bullshit. Okay? What did the Cowboys end up doing anyway? They got a better player than Williams. Or they got a better player than Carter. They got Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams is a better football player. So they went with the guy in New York, and they got the Jets guy, and they brought him in. And they didn't have to trade Micah Parsons to a division guy. Let's just say, oh, that's bullshit. Okay? Now his name's being floated out in the Crosby deal. Where there's smoke, there's fire. This is the second time his name's being thrown out in a potential deal that would move him. After a while, you got to stop going like this. It's bullshit. Carter is not untouchable. The money will dictate that he's touchable. And by the way, okay, Corp, why haven't they extended him? They have his rights for the next couple of years. Why wasn't that the top priority this offseason and extending him. I'll tell you this, too. How about this here, Marsh? I guarantee you they don't give him a contract extension this offseason that all of you people were telling me they were saving money up for and why you let Milton Williams go because you had to pay Carter. No fucking way are they giving him a contract extension. No fucking way. And why not? If he's so untouchable, why aren't they doing it? They don't need to do it right now? Why not? He's eligible. Howie likes to get in front of all that shit. Oh, I see. They don't have to, but they always do. So if he goes out and balls, it's $40 million next year. Is that right? They don't have to. They don't have to because they don't want to, because they're nervous of the guy's shoulders and his character. Give me a break. How fucking dumb are you? When you want to do something and you like somebody, you do it today. You don't wait. That's a polite reach around. Carter's immature. You never know when a guy like that is going to do something that could jeopardize his career and your team. Seals, you have some insight in Carter through Clint. Are you willing to tell us what Clint thinks about the kid? I understand if you can't. They think he's got a long way to go. Okay? You know why I'm great at it? Because they're not agendas. I don't give a fuck either way. Not agendas. I don't give a shit either way. Agendas. What agenda? Bro, the only agenda I have is if I'm being paid something at the end of the day. What agenda is that? I got no agenda on Jaylen Carter? Are you fucking drunk? Who gives a shit? I got agendas when I'm trying to make dough. Jaylen Carter's never trading JC away. Only way is if his injuries are worse than any of us are thinking. Agenda. In sports talk radio and sports talk broadcasting, I have agendas. The fuck does that mean? I'm not even sure what that means. What if Howie wants to lock Carter up and they don't want to do it? Get a haul from him now. If they don't think they can retain him, sell high. By the way, I'll also say this to you. Hey, Pump, I will say this, Pump. How about this? Hey, Pump, how about this here? What if they went to Drew Rosenhaus because they did meet at St. Elmo's? What if Howie came in with a extension kind of number and came in at, say, $27 million, and Drew Rosenhaus said, you're fucking $10 million off? How do you think that would push the Eagles narrative? Maybe there's a number the Eagles don't want to go with Carter either. You think of that? Don't believe these rumors for a second. Cowboys wanted Jaylen Carter. Now the Raiders do. I mean, of course they do. How are we not trading him? Y'all can eat my ass. Yeah, we'll see how he plays and pans out. A long way to go here. He's 3 years in the league, one-time All-Pro, two-time Pro Bowler. Come on, he's better than 80 of the DTs in the league. Cam Jurgens made Pro Bowler, and he was a Pro Bowler last year too. Right there along the same lines. Both guys sucked last year. And both guys were Pro Bowlers. You know why, Chris, they made the Pro Bowl? Because they were on the Eagles. Big Sills. So if they don't keep Carter, you think will extend? Yes. I don't know about a Jomo. Jaylen Carter on this team. I don't believe he's better than Bond. I don't believe he's better than Q. I don't believe he's better than Cooper DeJean. I don't believe he's better than Mulata. I don't believe he's better than Lane Johnson right now. He's not better than Devontae Smith. And he's probably the 11th best player on the team right now with his production of a year ago. If Howie trades Carter, I'm fucking done with this shit. Seals, you think Carter acts too much like Sue did in Detroit? I'm just skeptical about trading a younger. By the way, I didn't say trade him. I didn't. I didn't say that. Let's see here. I got to double check something too. 25. Bro. Let's see here. See, I got to double check something here on Carter. So let's see here on Carter. That's right. Exactly what I thought. Jaylen Carter wasn't first team All-Pro this last year. That's not true. The defensive tackles were Jeffrey Simmons and Zach Allen in Denver. Those were the first teams. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he made, and the second team guy was Leonard Williams and Cameron Hayward from Pittsburgh. Those were the first and second team All-Pro guys in 2025. So he did not make fucking first team All-Pro in 2025. Not true. 3 reasons. Seals, can't let you keep spewing Iranian-level propaganda about my precious Jaylen Carter. Brian Pumper will not stand for this. No, sir, not today. Okay, Pump, give me a grade on how well you think he played last year. If the deal's right, yeah. If the deal's right, yeah. There's nobody on that Eagle team that's not tradable except for the only guy I'd have a problem getting rid of would be Jordan Mailata. That'd be the only guy I have a problem with. You can have the rest of them. But again, you got really good players. Like when I trade Jalen Hurts for what? Sam Darnold? No. Would I trade Jalen Hurts? No. Would I trade Jalen Hurts for Josh Allen? Of course I would. And you'd have to give me 2 1s. Would I trade Saquon Barkley? Of course I would. For what? Well, if I'm getting Kenny Walker, I might do it. I might not. I might keep Barkley over Walker. By the way, I would keep Barkley over Walker. Sills, you could have Kenny Walker. Or do you want Barkley? I'm taking Barkley. Kenny Walker's a nobody. I'm not enthralled with Kenny Walker. I think he's a good deal and a good player. Just because he was a Super Bowl MVP, don't make him one of the elite backs in the game. You think that guy's fucking, what, Bijan Robinson? Or the guy Gibbs up in Detroit? He's nowhere near Barkley and them guys. He's nowhere near Christian McCaffrey and that. Not a chance. Kenny Walker's a really good player. Giving that guy $20 million. They think because he won the MVP award like you guys do with Hurts, that's a big deal when it comes to players and how people perceive them. Kenny Walker's a dude. I've asked about trading Carter multiple times over the past month based on his shoulder issues. There was no comment. Shoulder issues are bad news. I would absolutely trade him for a haul. Now, wait, again, people keep asking me would I trade him. Depends on what the deal is. How about this one? Let me ask you this. You think Howie listens to you think Howie listens? Okay? Ask yourself this. You think Howie listens when a guy calls on any player he has on the team? I do. No. I would not trade those guys. Justin Jefferson? Well, wait a minute. Pieters. I would trade those guys if you're offering me Justin Jefferson. Or you're offering me let me see, somebody in that room. Who's the guy in Baltimore? Who's the safety in Baltimore? Kyle Hamilton? Kyle Hamilton? Yeah, I'd think about it. Okay? Yeah, I would think about it. Patrick Surtain? Q? That's now you're thinking. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I'm not trading Patrick Surtain for or a Q for anybody. JC played 1 billion snaps the year before you. He won the Rams game by himself, forced fumble and sack. Banana and tailpipe ass dudes in the chat. Yeah, and this year, Jordan Davis won the Rams game, didn't he? Jerry Jones squeezes a quarter till the Eagle screams. Cannot listen unless someone absolutely untradeable, but seriously would kick in eventual. Yes, Michael. Why would you trade JJ? Hurts can't utilize him. Who says I want Hurts as my quarterback? Trading Carter would be stupid. Like I said, depends who it is. Like I said, guys, when you go into a jewelry store and you buy a Rolex and you trade a Rolex, you don't trade a Timex for a Rolex. And you're missing the point. Everything comes down to money. I had Tony Dungy on my morning show in Tampa this morning. You know what he said to me? I'll give it to you. Tony Dungy was on my morning show this morning, and he said, you know, when we did not want to trade Edgerrin James, it was Bob Irsay's favorite player of all time. Bill Polian came in and said this. This guy's one of my favorite players too. We have the money to sign him. But in 2 years, we're going to have to get rid of Dwight Freeney. We're going to have to get rid of Marvin Harrison and maybe even Reggie Wayne. Do you want that player that bad? Jeez. Tony said he prayed to God. He slept on it. Next day, Edgerrin James went to Arizona and grabbed a bag of money. So organizations move off of great people all the time. And remember, there's a salary cap. And for the record, I'm not trading that guy just for fucking a bag of Skittles. That's not what we're saying here. When you float a name like that out, you know what I immediately say? And you can fucking say whatever you want. It's a stupid idea, this and that. Well, let me tell you how NFL people think. What would trading Carter mean for my entire totality of my defense? Okay, I'll take that $30 million. I signed Phillips to the money that I would save. I get Phillips. I could sign Nakobe. Then what I do also is I draft a DT on a rookie deal, which saves me a ton of money there. And you look around coming up with Q and DeJean's deals coming up on potential deals. That's what they're looking at and how they're looking at it. How would trading Carter help me? Is trading Carter, again, with the issues that he has in shoulders and his attitude, and he'll have to have an attitude adjustment. Listen, do I think trading the player is the first choice? No. But I would listen. I didn't say trade his ass. Okay? You guys you have no idea how the NFL works. Yeah, by the way, why do you think the Jets traded Quinnen Williams? Why do you think they traded him? Why do you think they traded Sauce Gardner? Two dudes that were 25 years old. One, because they're stupid. Okay, I'll go there. They're stupid. Why do you think they traded him? Okay? Why do you think they did that? Because they're starting over. Me, I think that's dumb too. But it was a money move. It was a money move, and it was also to get draft picks. Look at the haul they got for Sauce Gardner. The problem with being the Jets is this. You could give the Jets 700 first rounders. They're not going to do shit with them. Williams and Gardner were luxuries that they needed to move to get better. Correct. Well, wait a minute. Hey, Bob, do you think Howie moving Josh Sweat and Milton Williams, the Eagles got better? Howie would launch a fart into the phone if the Raiders asked for JC. We have the best nerd in the business, and he's not going for that. He'll pick the phone up for anything. You know this. Do you think his shoulders could be deteriorating? I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to play one, but I think it's a concern. Hey, by the way, we'll see if they extend him. You got all M. Reyes, all of you guys, B. Pumper told me that this coming offseason was going to be a haul. I think I even heard Zander say that this coming offseason or this last year, now things change. That's why you guys keep using the Eagles flip-flopped on this. It's not Zander. The Eagles flip-flopped too if they didn't sign him because you guys were all under the impression this was going to be the offseason of Jaylen Carter. What happened? Now, again, you don't have to wait until free agency starts. You got the player under contract. Shouldn't that have been your top priority? If he everything Pumper says he is, why didn't you sign him to an extension? Why didn't you sign him to an extension? That wasn't a priority? Or is it priority 3? If I'm giving a guy $30 million, that's priority number 1, isn't it? Isn't that priority number 1? If Carter is moved, it's a medical issue. I think it's a character issue too and a money issue. Of course we did. We invent everything. I'll tell you what we didn't invent. All those douchebags now are looking at the Patriots offered a 2 and 3 for A.J. Brown. That's all over the internet right now. And we reported that yesterday with our friend who told us that the Patriots offered a 2 and a 3, not just a 2. So, yeah, invented it. This guy's a dumbass. You're wearing on me, bro. Where we may not be going to you ever again. Sills, no, but Sweat and Milton were expendable because of our cupboard is full with talent. The Jets' cupboard is bare. So let me ask you this, Bob. Let me get to a topic here. Look at I haven't even got to the topic here. So, Bob, question for you. Nolan Smith's failures are the reason that the Eagles are in the position that they are with edge. Is that right? Is that right? Bob, the reason that the Eagles are in this position is because Nolan Smith has failed. Well, that's a first-round pick. He failed. Or you'd still have Nolan. You're going to pay an edge rusher maybe $30 million with Crosby and $26 with Phillips. Howie failed at edge, right? In the first round. Right? If you sign Jalen Phillips to a $26 million deal, or you trade for Max Crosby, it's because Nolan Smith failed, yes or no? D pluses don't keep you in the league, but I like to take. Right? Howie failed at edge again. Correct? In the first round. Nolan Smith was supposed to be the guy that was going to solidify that position for the next, 5, 6 years? If you sign somebody or pay somebody and you had to already give a 3, get this, think about what you've done because of the failures of Nolan Smith. You gave a third-round pickup to get Jalen Phillips, and now there's a potential that you're going to pay 26 to 30 because Nolan Smith bombed. Is that right? Would you agree to that? That guy was supposed to be your starter. Body failed Nolan? Bro, that's part of all of it. The bodies failed Jakobi. Hey, this is not personal. A lot of people like Nolan Smith. I like the kid. What's that got to do with winning? And I would agree, Jalix Hunt developing has made Nolan Smith expendable. Okay? You're going to see a lot of this shit. I don't believe a word of it yet. Okay? You're going to see a ton of it. Don't believe a word of it. By the way, you see this right here? That's horseshit garbage. That's why you know it's full of shit. Cornerback Riley Moss in the 30th pick for Jaylen Carter. Bro, like I said, if Howie's going to move Jaylen Carter, it's going to be for people like Micah Parsons. Pick a great player that's in the league. You're not Riley fucking Moss. You don't even really have to look at that and go, that's full of shit. Myles Garrett. Right. Those are, when you're talking about moving a guy like Jaylen Carter, you're talking about moving the preeminent dudes. You're not talking about fucking guys. Riley Moss in the 30th pick. Do you know what I would want from Denver with that move? I'd want Riley Moss, the 30th pick, and I'd want next year's first rounder too. And then I might return your phone call. Giving up Riley Moss in the 30th pick for Carter. You're fucking crazy. JSN. Trade Jaylen Carter to no. I know you're joking, Forrest, but JSN and a first rounder and people like that and second and third. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Anytime you throw the name Carter out, always think this. Neiman Marcus, Rolex, like top-end deal guys, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, some of the best pass rushers and defensive line. Like, get this, Quinnen Williams. I'm interested. Quinnen Williams is a better ball player right now. It doesn't necessarily mean that Carter one day couldn't be better, but he's not today. Quinnen Williams is a wrecking ball. Sweat was the best edge Howie drafted since BG. They don't have a great track record of drafting ends. I know this. That's why the majority of their ends have been Hassan Reddick, have been, they thought they were going to get it in Bryce Huff. They couldn't. And they brought in Jalen Phillips. Other than that, Jalix Hunt and Brandon Graham have been the only edge rushers in the last 15 years that Howie Roseman has drafted that's worth the shit at that position. And if you think about it, the only corners that Howie drafted in the last 15 years has been Cooper DeJean and Q, and he got them in the same draft. Other than that, last 15 years, they've been dog shit too. And this is the comments that we had about him being a personnel guy when we first got here. And now he's totally gotten better. Like I said, Sweat, and it looks like Hunt and BG have been the only guys in the last 15 years that they brought in to Philadelphia that were worth the shit at edge. Thinking Carter's shoulders might be worse than they have been reported. They would know. How about this? Like I said, maybe the Eagles went to Drew Rosenhaus and put a deal on the table, and they were absolutely disappointed in the contract extension at the money that the Eagles were talking. And I don't blame the Eagles. I would undercut them too. I'm not giving you $35 million. If you give Jaylen Carter $35 million right now, you're overpaying for the guy. Because he's not giving you $35 million worth of effort. He had dude, 1 year doesn't mean you're great. Great players are consistent, like Fletcher Cox. Seals, the draft is a gamble, like a poker table, and like the stock market too, by the way, I would say, Bob. I would. Howie's been on a hot streak, but the cards can turn. Nolan Smith is a bad bet. A bad beat when aces, but Malata is a huge win hitting the river. Yes. Texans signed Hunter for 1 year, $40 million. Trade Anderson for another DT. Some of the shit people say, man, I mean, I'm not trading Will Anderson for Will Anderson's the best football player on that team. And that includes Stingley. Will Anderson? Really? I'll trade Jaylen Carter for that guy any day. Will Anderson? I'll take that guy. Will Anderson is going to be in a conversation maybe in the next 18 months with Micah Parsons. That guy's on the top defense in pro football right now. And there's no coincidence since he showed up with D'Amico Ryans and Stingley. Will Anderson is a freak show. Happy Friday to you, Big Sills. Parsons is overrated. He'd rather run his mouth than master his craft. I hate the fact that he can't play the run all that hot. Every time I watch Lane Johnson play against him, the guy throws him out of the club. You're acting like Fletcher Cox the first 3 years was dominant than Carter. I think Fletcher Cox is better against the run than Carter. Wasn't that one of the things I told Zander day one when I got here? The thing that I loved about Fletcher Cox over Aaron Donald, he was a two-way player. He could rush the passer, and he was one whale of a run stopper. Fletcher Cox was a motherfucker on the run. Okay? Did Dan comment on 97.5 trying to ratio his Alonzo Highsmith tweet with Philly's fake news? Happens all the time here. Is that right, Rasputin? Give me more detail. So wait a minute, let me get this right. No wonder somebody on my LinkedIn from Philly Sports went over there. We're robbing shit that we've been saying here. By the way, all the radio stations, according to Rio Hughes, especially the morning show and WIP, they watch the show every day so they can have content and topics for the next day. It's all good. Some of it's the greatest form of flattery, and I appreciate that. By the way, also Angelo told me that. Myles Garrett for Carter, straight up? No, thank you. You'd have to give me a first-round pick for Garrett. Garrett and Carter for Carter in a first for Garrett? Yeah, I'm in. Carter for Myles Garrett? Myles Garrett's a first-ballot Hall of Famer right now and still playing lights-out ball. That ain't happening. With no source. Yeah. Gargano posted they offered a first and a third. It's actually a 2 and a 3, but okay. I like Anthony Gargano. He's all right. He's not the best. He's far from it. Oh, by the way, tomorrow on my sports grid, who are we getting on, Zander, tomorrow? What's the guy's name? We're getting on. He was the afternoon guy at or at 97.5. What's the guy's name? Let's see here. Yeah, we're getting Tyrone Johnson on. Gonna have Tyrone on tomorrow. Sills, would Carter demand to a no trade only with draft picks? Carter has no demand. Carter has no leverage. He has no leverage in this. Okay? He's on a rookie contract. Has none. So wait a second. They tried to cancel his show because you spoke the truth. Now they're taking your content because they see you are bringing in views. Not only that, Devin, it's because we know folks. Here, Devin, just so you know, and Zander knows this, by the way, this is the number one show. The other ones are fillers. So, listen. So I do this, 7, and then 6. That's 13 and 7. I book 20 people a week to come on my shows. I book 80 people a month to come on my programs. 80 people a month. Like over 900 people I put on a year on my shows. 900 people a year. Sills, after 26, Hurts's guarantees are gone. Do you think Nicole Lynn leveraged in the next negotiation if she asks for $65 per year? There's no way Jalen Hurts is making $65 million a year. Now, if he wins the Super Bowl this year, he'll get $65 million. I would say this. If Jalen Hurts, Mr. Hill, takes if he takes the Eagles to the NFC Championship game, you've got to think of paying him Dak money. Tyrone always talked down to people at 97.5. He thinks he knows more than he does. I'm looking forward to talking to him, man. Rasputin, 97.5 tried propping up YouTube's Philly by boasting a fake news post from Gargano with no source to credit his claim. The Patriots offered Howie to 1 and a 3, which he turned down. The whole point the last few years is to pair dominant defensive ends with Carter to wreck the league. Why the hell would they trade him? Makes no sense. Unless they got concerns about his shoulder. Or unless they got concerns about, his character. Guys, things change. Why would you trade Carson Wentz after giving Carson Wentz a $31 million a year deal? Howie Roseman in 1 year flip-flopped with Carson Wentz. They gave him the contract. The next year, they drafted Hurts in the second round. Why? They started flip-flopping. And then after the Seattle game, when he didn't want to go back in or wherever the hell it was, Howie was out on the guy. With all due respect, Tyrone, hey, that's to each his own. I'm not a talent scout here. Some people think I'm horrible. And some people think like M. Reyes, who comes here every day, says I suck, which is great. And I appreciate that, by the way. Big Sills, you suck. But I'm here every day for it. I appreciate that. The only way I trade AJ is to a perennial loser like Cleveland or the Jets, or for taking $32 million and complaining. That's not my way of getting my team better. I'm trading AJ Brown to the best place I could possibly trade him to. Or things change after you get news that Fangio is going to retire. That could change it too. Going to change schemes? I don't believe they're going to change schemes. All right, listen to this. So we agree. The reason why you're in this position at edge is because Nolan Smith has failed. That's on Howie, right? Now listen, let me take that back. Howie was right to draft him. He's a good player. Unfortunately, circumstances beyond Howie's control. The guy wasn't built for the league. He wasn't built for the game. He can't sustain the play of the game. He just can't stay healthy. Yes, but Nolan was the 30th pick, so it was a guarantee. Well, nothing's guaranteed when you're down there, man. And remember something, Chris. With the upcoming draft, there's only, usually in an NFL draft, there's only like 12 or 13 true first rounders. Okay? You said the Eagles want a 1 and a 2. Patriots are offered 2 and a 3. Well, I'm not trading him then, Sills. Okay. By the way, I still kept the text message. I got it. Right now, I think the Patriots would get a little more nervous around, especially after what the Bills did. I think they're going to try to get Mike Evans and A.J. Brown up there for Drake May. It's kind of what I'm hearing. They want Mike Evans and A.J. Brown in New England. Now, that would be, again, them taking on money and signing Mike Evans to a $13 million deal. Still, stop capping. You know you're the best. That's why everyone tries to cancel you, because you having a platform. True. Just saying. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Dav. Thank you. So as J-Mac said, there's only 2 teams interested in AJ, New England and Baltimore. I thought the Chargers were too. Okay. Now remember, you know why? John's not wrong. The money makes it complex. And not everybody has that latitude of being able to move around. Now, I would, shitty teams, I think the Commanders have money. But again, his money, A.J. Brown's money is the issue here. I'll tell you something, Trev, the Eagles are notorious for drafting small dudes, and I'll tell you this too. There is no doubt they draft small dudes. I have no interest in that. Love Nolan Smith. Plays hard. I do too. All heart like Dean. And just like Dean, it's too small and keeps getting hurt. Correct. Seals, weren't the Chargers interested? I think they are. Okay. Yeah, we need to ditch the project player mentality altogether. Reyes, when you see ability, and by the way, Reyes, I think the Eagles get in a little bit of trouble at the combines. Because when you watch Nolan Smith at the combines, he's impressive. When you watch the Kobe Dean at the combines, they're impressive. Or Pro Day. These guys, their measurables are great. And then you start, and you have to look at the physicals. The physicals, to me, and the interview, those are two of the most important things when you're evaluating a player. Bro, he's been hurt 1/2 a season. Why do you get this keep getting hurt shit from? Well, let's see. You drafted him injured, did you not, Jason? Jason, did you not draft him injured? You drafted him injured, right? Nolan Smith. Okay. So Nolan Smith, his rookie year, was eligible for 17 games, 0 starts. Rookie, okay. His second year was eligible for 17 games, played 16, and started 10. So let's just go to the last 2 years. So he wasn't starting for 7 games. Gee, I wonder why. Or excuse me, he wasn't starting, for 7 games. This last year, he played 12 games, and he missed 5. So in the last 2 years, he's missed 12 starts. And he didn't start his first year as the 30th pick in the draft. And if you look at it, this is what he started. He's got 22 starts in the last 2 years, and he's been in the league 3 years, out of 34. So for a first-round pick 3 years ago, Nolan Smith has 22 starts in 34 games in the last 2 years. And quite frankly, in the last 3 years, in 51 starts, he's got 20 and 51 potential games. He's got 22 starts. How do you think that 30th pick is panned out? 51 potential games. Then last 3 years he could play, and he's got 22 starts as the 30th pick in the draft. How do you think that's done? How do you think that's been, Jace? Good or bad? The 30th pick is a rotational piece? Well, you're missing then. Then you're missing it. When you draft guys in the first round, you're looking for starters, not rotation guys. Do you understand the money that's involved here? So you're telling me you're going to pay, here, let's see this. I think he's eligible for $25 million. Let's see what his fifth-year option would be for Nolan Smith. According to Jason here. Jason, I'm not picking on you here, man. Let's see here. Nolan Smith, who's eligible too. Fifth-year option. Price. Are you paying $15 million for Nolan Smith? That's what he's eligible for. The projected fifth-year option for Eagles, Nolan Smith is valued between $14 and $15.3 million for the 2027 season. As a 2023 first-round pick, this option must be exercised by May 1st of 2026 and would fully guarantee his salary for that year. What a decision we haven't even talked about there. Are you picking the fifth-year option up May 1 on Nolan Smith? of between $13.75 million and $15.3. Nobody's talking about May 1st for him. That's another decision Howie has to make. Must be exercised by May 1st to guarantee fully $15.3 million. Maybe? Yes? Okay. So you're going to pick his $15 million option up, and you're going to sign Jalen Phillips to a 3-year contract extension at $26 million, and then turn around and pay Jaylen Carter $35 million. Is that right? Or $30 million? May 1st. So you got a lot of money walking around here. You got a lot of money walking around here. Woo, baby. May 1 too. You got to figure that one out. So wait a minute here. This is classic here. So you guys want to pay Carter. Said he's untradeable. You're going to pay him 30. All right? Fair enough. You're going to extend. Hey, wait a minute here. Let's see. Jordan Davis extension. Let's see what Jordan Davis is going to make. Jordan Davis. Projected extension. Let's see what that number comes to. Let's take a look at that. Here we go. Jordan Davis is projected to receive a 4-year deal approximately worth $80 to $85 million, averaging over $20 million annually following the 25 season. The Eagles have already exercised the 26 fifth-year option for $12.9. So you're looking at another deal of potentially $85 million and $20 million. So there's a $20 million deal that you're going to go for Jordan Davis. Carter's getting 30. Phillips is getting, let's just go 25. Okay? So you got $25 million in Phillips, $30 million in Carter, $20 million in Davis, $17.4 in Bond, and you're going to pick up Nolan Smith $15 million to be a rotation piece when May 1st comes? Okay. Like bingo. And bingo. If you leave it up to John, he says Davis is only getting $15 million a year. $15 million a year? I don't know, man. I would leave if I was Davis. I'll get more money on the open market. I mean, $15 million? He might make $22, $23 million. No, listen, no. It sounds like tough decisions have to be made. Tough decisions. Let me tell you this. I think it's because your offense, they put all that money over there. And they didn't make tough decisions to cut and get move off of guys. Plus, they made some mistakes. Cam Jurgens could be a mistake now. Okay? You got tough decisions. Remember, the Eagles haven't paid anybody on defense. The only guy that's making money right now are Davis and Bond. The rest of them are on rookie deals or free agent deals. That's why signing Phillips is going to be a tougher putt than you think. Let me ask you this. Does Howie value his first-round picks? Okay? So he's got to decide this on May 1. Do I pay the $14 million for Nolan Smith? Or do I try to trade him for a fourth rounder? That's a failure pick at 1. But financially, I can't afford to give the guy $15 million. Yeah, you can't. You told me last year you can't pay everybody. Wow. It looks to me like better players are leaving every year, more so than you're signing. Sills, in your opinion, what would make this offseason a success? Here, great question. Maniac, how about this? You trade A.J. Brown to the Raiders for max. You have Crosby at your end. You're able to then move off of that 26. You got a guy currently under contract already. You don't have to give a signing bonus to Max Crosby. You have him till 29 signed up. You kick the can down the road on Carter for another year. You extend Davis. You got to pray Hunt continues to excel. I am not picking that 50-year option up on Nolan Smith at $14 million. However, I'll tell him this. You play it out. You play great. I'll sign you to a 3-year contract in the offseason. I'll use him and do him like Milton Williams and like you did with Milton Williams. Make it a prove-it year for him that he could stay healthy. We like you, kid. But I would keep him and tell him, your injuries have been a problem. And that would be my rotation guy. Your linebackers are set with Jahad Campbell and with Bond. I got to move off Dean. Then in the draft, I go into the draft. Hey, eventually, Devontae Smith's got to prove. You guys keep telling me he's the number 1. Well, here it is. I'll draft a guy in the second round. In the first round, I'll get my depth at offensive tackle. And I'll move forward. What you did there with AJ, does AJ make your offense worse by leaving? Yes. But do you help the team get younger and cheaper? And do you help the depth at certain places? And what's the one thing that you did that is a staple in the Eagles' future? You know what it is? You solidified an edge rusher, which is your defensive line. You kept the integrity of Carter there, and you extended Davis, and you drafted the offensive tackle. The two parts of the Philadelphia Eagles in the last 15 years that is synonymous with who you are is taking care of the trenches. If you take care of the trenches, you don't win championships at the perimeter. You win championships in the trenches. Having players like Devontae and AJ, those are luxuries. Solidifying the trenches. That's where you win. That's how you won in 17. You didn't have premier guys at the perimeter in 17. You had you had premier dudes in the trenches. You were so good, Maniac, in the trenches that you lost Jason Peters and you still won the fucking Super Bowl. Seals, Howie sees the up and coming draft and players that will be available. There's a reason why Howie's paying everyone. Look, I think you're mistaken. I think this draft's got a lot of good football players in it. I think it's got a lot of shitty quarterbacks in it. And I think it's jaded by the fact that, guess what? You got really good-looking ball players in this draft. Edge rushers look pretty good. Wide receiver core looks good. Offensive line group looks good. I think after the top three guys in the offensive line, I think you got everybody that looks, but they're good. Silas played in 63 of 85 games, averaged 12 games a year, and he wants $25 million. Nolan has played in 45 of 51 games, averaged 15 games per year. He wants $15 million available. He's the key factor. What's the point of having AJ with the 27? Kyle, that's my take. What's the point of having two 1,000-yard receivers when your offensive passing game blows? What's the point of it? Okay, so, I mean, your passing game is never going to be anywhere decent because of the quarterback. And it's not that he sucks. Ramir, I missed your super. Let me go back. I learned how to scroll, I told you guys. AJ for Max is better. Imagine Davis, JC, Hunt, and Max. Yeah, that's a good-looking group. Thanks, Ramir. Appreciate that. We'll never miss him, man. Shields, they're saying a 27 draft would be the best draft of all time. What's the best draft of all time in your opinion? The 1983 draft. The 1983 draft is the greatest draft in NFL history. And there's no getting around it. Here, 1983 NFL draft is the greatest draft that's ever here. John Elway, first pick in the draft, Hall of Famer. Eric Dickerson, second pick, Hall of Famer. Kurt Warner, Pro Bowler. Chris Hinton, Pro Bowler. Billy Ray Smith, Pro Bowler. Jimbo Covert, Hall of Famer, sixth pick. Todd Blackledge, bad pick. Michael Haddix, bad pick. Bruce Matthews, Hall of Famer. Terry Kennard, decent player. Tim Williams. Tim Lewis got hurt. Tony Hunter, okay. James Jones, fullback. He was okay up in Detroit. Jim Kelly, Hall of Famer. Tony Eason, got to a Super Bowl. Mike Pitts, with the Atlanta Falcons. You guys had him in Philly. Leonard Smith, good player. Willie Gault, Super Bowl champion with the Bears. Joey Browner, heck of a player in Minnesota. Gary Anderson, great running back with the Chargers. Gabe Rivera was killed in a car accident. Gil Byrd, Pro Bowler. Jeff Coat, 14-year starter in Dallas. Ken O'Brien, really good player with the Jets. Dave Remington, good player. Don Mosbar, perennial All-Pro. Dan Marino, Hall of Famer. Darryl Green, Hall of Famer. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Hall of Famers in that draft. 8 Hall of Famers went in that draft in 1983. Jills, how important you think it is to get another back, considering Barkley's possibly short shelf life? I'll tell you what, man, I'd like to have that Kenny Walker on the Eagles and hit those two guys going back and forth, but that's a pipe dream. I wouldn't have a problem putting that Etienne guy. Seals, my man, do you think getting another running back is important besides because of Barkley's possible short life? Yeah, I wouldn't mind them getting another one. Ken O'Brien had more perfect passing games than Jalen. How about this too? He had a winning record versus Dan Marino playing for the Jets. He had a better record versus the Dolphins than Dan Marino. How many first round guys went in that draft? By the way. I mean, how many quarterbacks went in that draft? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? I thought there were 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round in that NFL draft. Big Sills, how you doing this week? How you doing? This week has been so much news with no actual news at all. Howie has us on a string. Hey, can I tell you something, too, about your beloved Howie Roseman? Let me do this before I get Big Z up. Let me do this here. I don't want to ruin my Dick Allen ball. Hang on here. Let me put that bitch back. Howie's caused a lot of shit this week. He could have just said, fuck, you guys are nuts. We're not doing Dick. I'm signing Phillips tomorrow. Hey, Jay, man, forget about it. I'm extending him. What do you mean? I'm redoing his contract to ease up some money so I can sign all these guys like Nolan Smith. Woo, baby. This piece of paper right here with all my cliff notes that I'm going to talk to Z about is so hot, I can't even get the son of a bitch off my hand. Look at this. What the hell's going on here with this shit, man? Boy, I'll tell you what. Get ready, folks. You're going to see a lot of Zander this weekend. Breaking news, man. Because this shit could happen. This shit could happen even while we're talking here. Without further ado. By the way, Mike North, 430. The Indiana Bears still in play. And we will talk with our friend, the legendary Philly Godfather. That would be at 5:30. But without further ado, the man who will refuse to move, Jaylen Carter, in any way whatsoever. He is our man from Birds 365, my friend, Big Z. Zander Krauss joins us now. How you doing?
What's up, Big Sills? How you living, brother?
Woo, baby, man. God,
Football Friday. You think I'm going to be live this weekend? You think we got some news coming?
I do. I think so.
What kind of news you thinking? Jalen Phillips?
Yes. Keep going.
Why would Drew Rosenhaus sign a deal 2 days before free agency?
I didn't say he was signing it.
Okay. How about Jaylen Carter? Nah, dude. Wait, dude. If they trade Jaylen Carter, I think they're off the gas. I think the beer can to the dome of Howie Roseman has actually affected them.
See, do you understand where I'm coming from, though? If you're talking Jaylen Carter, I'm talking like Derek Stingley and
no, I don't want Derek Stingley for Jaylen Carter.
No. Wait. Well, dude, that's a premium position.
Okay, dude, and so is defensive tackle, dude.
Okay. Well, that guy's not a $30 million a year guy right now.
Okay, and Derek Stingley's not worth Carter.
Really? That guy's on the top defensive pro.
So you're telling me right now, if Houston called and said, "I'll give you Derek Stingley for Jaylen Carter," you would do it?
Or DT? Wait, what do you think is a more important position in the NFL, corner or DT?
DT.
Not me. No way. Passing NFL today, having lockdown corners.
DT, dude, all day.
No way.
That's just my preference.
Okay, not me, man. I think cornerbacks in a game where you throw the ball, man, I mean, I don't know, man. I could find me a Quentin Williams like the Cowboys did. No. I don't know. I just
finding you would trade Jaylen Carter for Derek
Stingley? That. I said that he's a premium position.
I didn't say he wasn't a premium position.
And corner's more important than DT.
That's where I don't know that I agree. I do agree. You're right. In the passing world we live in, corners, the importance of corners it's always been big, but it's skyrocketed. But I mean, maybe I'm slanted because we have Quinyon and Cooper.
Those dudes, I'm not. You better come in the room with.
Well, I'm saying we already have 2 great corners, so I'm not looking to get Stingley. I'm looking to get a good defensive line.
Probably so. That's right. You don't need that guy.
I mean, I'll tell you what, we have the third best defensive line in the East if the Cowboys trade for Max Crosby.
So let me ask you this then. Would you trade Carter for Micah Parsons?
Yep.
Okay. Would you
And
trade
I
him
like
for Will?
and Will Anderson, I would.
Will Anderson, you trade him for?
Yeah, I probably would. I mean, Will, as good as he's gotten, I do think
Great.
it's a little early, but you could say the same about Carter. He's only shown really one great year.
This guy's getting better every year.
I'm thinking I'd probably take Will Anderson.
Okay. I mean, so Zander, first, and I agree with you on this one here. Listen, somebody put something like some stupid guy from Denver in the 30th pick. I'm like, I'm not even picking the phone up for that thing. That's not where I'm going with this. But you're starting to hear his name now in multiple deals. Now, I'm not saying, look, we're in the island and we're in the next 72 hours of the island of lies that will be everywhere. This is going to be so many lies. You're not going to believe how many lies are going to be out there. However, so this is the second time his name. If you don't believe the Micah Parsons deal where he said Jaylen Carter's name was in that trade for the Cowboys to send him to Philadelphia, you might not believe that. But here you got another conversation here. Now, that could be also Drew Rosenhaus doing this. The Eagles came to them with an extension and went like this. Here's the money. We're looking at $26 million. And they could have went like this. Yeah, no. And Drew could have floated that out. So my question would be, there's smoke, there's fire sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you think the Eagles are at least hedging on
You
Carter
mean-
right now?
Well, I will say this. If it's true about them offering him with Crosby, which I haven't, has anybody really seen? Like, I've seen some of this now, but I don't, is anybody really credible saying this?
Not really.
No, right?
No. I think it's agents getting it out. That's my take.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
don't
agents.
see any. I mean, the only person I see that is Ricky Scoops, which
No.
Ricky Scoops, guys, is not who I'm trusting here on this. But
Ricky Scoops.
it's like sounds like a fake X account or something. I will say this. I texted John about it, and he said, I'm trying to find out on Crosby, but he was offered for Parsons.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, like, if he's been offered for Crosby too, then the trend is there. I mean, you don't just go around offering one of your top guys to multiple teams. You just don't do that.
So you think they had a problem with his character?
Well, I think, like you said, I mean, I think they know how good of a player he is, but perhaps when, drafting him with the first pick is different than paying him $35 million a year. Maybe they're wondering if the juice is worth the squeeze there with Jaylen Carter. I think they're also thinking about the shoulders. I think they're thinking about the playing time. I think they're wondering, coming off of a down year for him. So I'm not exactly sure, man. If Jaylen Carter is made of it, I'll tell you this, I wouldn't do it.
Why?
I don't think Crosby is worth that. I think Micah would be, or a young Will Anderson is, but Max Crosby is going to be 29 in week 1 next year, dude. I don't know that you trade away a great defensive tackle for a 29-year-old edge rusher that, has played as much as he has. I mean, what if the down year that Crosby had this year, which wasn't a too bad of a down year, it was slightly down from his top production year, but he had good tackle for losses. He had some good numbers out there, but I mean, what if he does only have 1 year left? Now you got rid of a star defensive tackle. I mean, remember, I grew up where they paid DTs, dude. I mean, Fletcher Cox got a 7-year deal here. Fletcher Cox retired as an Eagle, drafted and retired as a Bird. I envisioned the same exact thing for Jaylen Carter. So maybe they're hedging, which I could understand to some extent, but I'm not giving them up for freaking, I'm not giving him up for Max Crosby. I don't think, dude. I mean, plus, it's not going to be enough either. It's going to be a Crosby and what? Or Carter and what? A 1?
No way. No fucking way.
Well, it's there. They want multiple picks.
Yeah, well, not happening. I'm not even picking the phone up then. Dude, you know what? I'm not even sure wait a minute. I'm going to flip this over on this going, wait, if you want Carter and you want me to take Crosby, you're going to have to give me a 3 on top of that because I got to put on that $30 million on my fucking cap. And you want me to get Carter
they're going to have to pay Carter too.
Yeah, well, that'll be the Raiders' problem. You want me to pick up his 30 and you want me to give you a 1 and Carter? Hell no. I got no interest in that.
I'm with you.
No fucking way. What Diane Rossini, right?
Dude, I'd rather give up the first-round pick than give up Carter.
No shit, not happening.
I mean, you hope a first-round pick turns into Jaylen Carter. I mean, that's a flyer. That's a lottery ticket.
No way am I doing that. The Eagles and teams involved in A.J. Brown trade discussions want the situation resolved in the next couple of days so they can move on for the rest of the offseason planning and identifying other players. So let me get this right. According to Diane Rossini, this is the number one issue right now for the Eagles when you've got multiple issues on your team that you have to address. Is A.J. Brown, who you have under contract?
It's because everybody's placating his emotions. You included. You had Angelo Cataldi on your show this week. He said, shut the F up and play ball. That's me. AJ, sit down and shut up. Unless you want to go play with Fernando Mendoza or J.J. McCarthy, shut up. I'm not building my team around a wide receiver that's going to bitch and moan no matter what.
You have.
Bitching and moaning when he had 1,500 yards.
You have. You're placating it to it now.
Well, I'm done with that. If the team gets worse because you let AJ Brown bully you into getting worse, then congratulations. You don't deserve to go and compete for a Super Bowl.
And would you not agree that's on the coach?
No.
No? Then who's it on?
Coach.
Doesn't the coach go like this? Fuck this, I'm out. When do you get over this bullshit then? You're going to fucking sit around and watch a guy moan on your team all day long for all the things that you just said, and I got to fucking have that bullshit around me all day long?
There's the passion from Sileo.
I mean, fuck it. I'm done with that. Get his ass out of here.
Dude, I don't want to hear any more bullshit about AJ doesn't want to be here. I don't give a rat's ass.
Bro, it's exhausting when you have that kind of guy in your team.
Dude, if the team's going to get worse, I don't see it.
Okay, you know how it'll get worse? He'll destroy your fucking environment as well because he'll poison and pollute it.
That's because everybody's treating him like the little school, like the little boy that whatever it's called. The boy who cried wolf. You know, sometimes when a little kid cries, you just got to let him fucking cry. All right?
Well, little old Sills doesn't make the locker room and the culture. The fucking coach and the GM make the culture.
Yeah, look, I'm with Charles. Yeah, you wanna cry? You can go to Cleveland or the Jets. How's that? You got Cleveland, the Jets, or the Raiders.
That's who I'd send him. That's who I'd send him to.
Yeah, Sig is right. He needs spanking. He's like a little schoolgirl. Oh, you're trying to ruin everything for everybody because your buttercup ass is crying. And if Howie trades him and loses the deal and we get worse because of it, then everybody's going to have egg on their face. Okay. Me included, because the team is going to stink. Get rid of it. Wait. Let's run the numbers here, everybody. We've been a defensive team. We're going to let Nakobe Dean and Reed Blankenship walk. Oh, yeah, that's lovely. Then go over to the offensive side of the ball. They already sucked ass. Get rid of Dallas Goedert. Get rid of A.J. Brown. I mean, guys, this isn't rocket science. I'm not doing calculus here.
How in God's name, if you have a guy under contract for the next 2 fucking years, are you even debating this?
Because people like you.
Me?
I blame Sileo.
Hey, I got another one here for you. Folks, it's a nugget here. So I'm listening to Albert Breer. And Albert Breer, dog, talking to the A.J. Brown people. They've done their due diligence. Make sure I don't inflate it, Big Z, because here it comes, folks. Ready? Talking to the A.J. Brown people. You know, they're doing their due diligence. He's worried about, as Big Sills told you, legacy. Legacy, AJ. And you know what he wants? He wants to be in an offense, and he wants to have a quarterback that can get him the ball. I have this question to ask you, my friend, Mr. Philly. How do you not build your fucking legacy up in a winning environment by winning NFC championships and fucking winning ball games? And that guy's talking about a completely different legacy than what he has.
AJ's really disappointed me. I vouched for this guy so many times last year.
That's a good take.
I vouched for him so many times.
He is disappointing.
He's a snake. He's a Judas. He's a snake. No, seriously, even if you have that problem, why are you out there putting that out there? I don't really give a shit what you think of the quarterback, dude. You're a part of a team. You are not the A.J. Brown Incorporated Eagle, A.J. Browns that we all wear where we wear A.J. Brown merch. The A.J. Browns don't lift Super Bowl trophies. The A.J. Browns don't get parades on Broad Street. If you want to play for yourself, that's fine. And I'll go back to Charlie Swift comment. Send him to Cleveland or send him to the Raiders or send him to the Jets, and he can mope and cry over there and get his yards. But to throw Jalen Hurts under the bus like this,
that was terrible.
I mean, that's a bad look. That's a bad look. I always say, I'd rather, be honest, but you also got to be loyal here. I mean,
and he's talking through other people, and their people are talking through reporters, which to me is even worse because you don't have the balls to say it out front and go like, you know what I mean? You're going through media people that you have connections with so that gets out there. Come on, man. If you don't like the kid,
I understand it, but I'm not a fan of it.
What's that?
I understand it, but I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I think it's, and look, maybe I've been wrong on this guy. I mean, I've been saying, I know some people in here right now are saying, I hate to say I told you so. Well, you can say I told you so, guys. I'm not always right. And I've been under the belief that AJ was right when it comes to our offense isn't good enough to win late in the year.
Things can be right, though, Z. He can be disappointing and right.
But where I'm wrong is, you got to handle it a better way. Because now, I mean, even how you handled it in the offseason or in the season, I wasn't even that mad at it. But now it makes that look a lot worse when you get to the offseason and you got your agent going to Albert Breer saying, hey, I don't care about winning or anything. The only thing I care about is that I have that I have the right quarterback. And if you look through the list, let's just run through the list of top receivers. I mean, Jamar Chase, great quarterback, not a lot of hardware. Puka Nacua, great quarterback, not a lot of hardware. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Is Jared Goff great? No, but he's a passer, so you get a lot of yards. Justin Jefferson, ask him how he felt in that shitty offense last year. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, obviously if Dak Prescott, good thrower of the football. I mean, look, we've already established this. This is a pick your poison. You can either choose to be a part of a team and sacrifice, which Jalen Hurts has done, which Devontae Smith has done, which Dallas Goedert has done, which everybody basically on this football team, in a way, has sacrificed their own individual ceiling and success that they can unlock for the betterment of the football team. But in a way, while that might suck for individuals, that's part of the beauty of the game. I mean, if the 1986 Miami Hurricanes only gave a shit about individual stats, wait, what's the tattoo on your arm? That's the year you got. If you guys didn't fight for one another, you don't have the team success. This is a team game. AJ should go play go to boxing or go play golf or go do something individual. Go play tennis. I don't give a shit. It's a team game. It's a team game. And he's clearly putting, that desire first. And I understand the desire because, look, I think we all deep down want to, reach our highest potential. And I think that's a fair and normal thought process. But to do it in a way that's destructive to the other people a part of your team, that shows me that I don't know what the right word is for this, but you have to pull people down to lift you up. Like you got to pull Jalen Hurts down publicly so that you make sure everybody knows, oh, I want my yards and I want a better quarterback. Yeah, right. That's a good word for it.
Remember something about Smitty too. wasn't just so much the sacrificing of the numbers; it's money. Also, he sacrificed money. He gave the Eagles a hometown fucking haircut.
Let's get this straight. Devontae Smith has sacrificed more than A.J. Brown has.
Oh, by far.
By far.
Money and numbers.
Yeah, he's a Judas, Prince. Prince is right. He's a Judas. I mean, again, this maybe pisses me off more than
how much you blame Howie on this then?
Yeah, this isn't on Howie.
Oh, wait. Howie has facilitated the gasoline being thrown on it by saying, I'm taking phone calls on it.
Yeah, but look at if AJ's doing this, and this is what we're seeing publicly now with Albert Breer's comments.
Yeah.
AJ Brown is obviously making this very hard for Howie. You could even give a feather in Howie's cap for this because he's the one who's continued to say, no, we're not trading you. We're not doing this. But when you go out and you got Albert Breer saying the player wants a better quarterback, you're making Howie's life hard, dude. How do you not put some credence on that gasoline when dude, that's like someone, pours gas all over your home, is holding a lighter and is about to drop it on the gas unless you do what they say. He's holding them hostage.
I'm like you said, I'm exhausted.
Again, that's why I treat him like a little schoolgirl. You can go and cry. You got time. Go and sit in the corner. Turn your chair to the wall like this. Okay? And nobody gets to hear from you, A.J. Brown. Nobody gives a shit what you got to say anymore, A.J. Brown.
So let me ask you this then, to that philosophy, what you're saying. So you want AJ, so all this stuff that you're saying publicly right now, you think it's smooth behind the scenes?
No, I don't. I think it's not smooth.
Okay, so let me say this to you. So when you get into OTAs and minicamp and AJ Brown starts turning his chair around in those team meetings.
Oh, he doesn't get to choose whether his chair is turned around.
Oh, he could turn that chair around he wants. You know why? I got $30 million guaranteed money coming to me.
Okay.
And I can do whatever I feel like. That's, by the way, because you sent, even if you bench him, though.
I would get more personal enjoyment out of them benching him and keeping him on the team.
What's the point? Oh, just keeping him there and sitting him there. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good for the
How's this for yards? How's this for legacy, AJ? A healthy scratch.
Oh.
Ask Hassan Reddick how that worked out. Ask Le'Veon Bell how that worked out. Go ahead. Keep moping. Keep moping.
So you're going to punish him by paying him and sitting
By
him?
the way, A.J. Brown is overpaid.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're going to start tar and feathering the guy now. It's only a matter of time.
He's overpaid.
He's overpaid.
Wait, he talks
well, if
big.
He's overpaid.
Well, I want a better quarterback. Well, you know what I want, AJ? You know what I want? I want you to catch the fucking ball in the playoffs when your quarterback trusts you and gives you an opportunity. When he airs it out for you to win your one-on-one and you stop trying. How about that? You want a better quarterback? Well, we want a better wideout. How's that?
Okay. All right. Let's continue this. So in 2026, you think A.J. Brown's going to hurt or benefit Jalen Hurts in the new offense?
I mean, he's a good player. He's a good receiver. Well, sometimes he's a good receiver when he wants to be.
So if he's in a good mood,
I think he helps. I'm not going to act like you get better.
If he's in a good mood, when we're going to play well that week. But if he's not in a good mood and things aren't going right, I don't know what A.J. Brown I'm going to get every fucking Sunday.
That's why I'm putting him in the corner in his chair, and I'm turning him around.
Okay.
And I'm saying, you don't have. I'm not. By the way, if they put a C patch on his jersey, if I were Sirianni, I would, because they do the whole player thing where the players choose, and AJ's buddy, but classic Judas. He's buddy with everybody else, so that they make him the cat. Ooh, Cooper, I love you. Ah, hee hee, hoo hoo, ha ha. And then when it comes to Jalen Hurts, he's gonna shit on him in the media. I would rip the C patch off his jersey. Sit down and shut up. When we decide to throw you the ball, catch it. And if you don't catch it, we'll bench you for Darius Cooper.
I want Jimmy Wilson.
I'm getting tired of this, dude. This is ridiculous.
By the way, I think it's coming to an end. I think it is. I think it's coming to an end, depending on what happens. Because if they keep that guy, God, is this gonna? Here, watch this. Can I do one thing before we move on? I am praying to the football gods. Please keep this guy on this team because Devontae gives me dick. AJ is gold. It should be gold every day. I want that guy on this team.
So you want them to keep AJ, so you just have
You bet. You bet. I want to watch his time bomb.
Dude, you're like the AJ of sports media. You're like, as long as it helps the Sileo show,
Yes.
you don't care about everything else. I don't care about the team or this or that. I just need to help the Sileo show.
I care about Team JAKIB. I don't give a shit about that other bullshit.
Oh, man, that's funny.
All right, I got another one here for you.
No, wait. In all seriousness, though, there's been a lot of instances that have happened in this saga feels like it's been going on forever now. This one with Albert Breer is the one that's pissed me off the most.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's so
disrespectful.
Yeah, it's so Judasy.
Yeah.
It just is. I mean, dude, you probably don't come to Philly and get your big ass contract. You probably don't, have what you have. And let's be real. Same thing to make you laugh, make you cry, right?
He doesn't own 2 NFC championship rings in a Super Bowl if he don't come here.
Dude, I'm not sure he's got a $32 million contract. Remember,
absolutely not.
Jalen Hurts is one of the reasons that they traded for A.J. Brown because they were friends and they needed a wideout. So Jalen's one of the reasons that he showed up in Philadelphia. And then after 2 years of 1,500 yards from the quarterback you just disparaged publicly or had your agent go and do, you got another pay raise with 2 years left on your deal. What 99% of the league will never get to see that. Wait a second. I got paid top in the league. And then with 2 years left on the deal, they re-upped and made me the top in the league again.
Yes.
Because Jalen Hurts threw 1,500 yards to me. Now you don't get what you want, and you sulk and you sulk and you sulk. And Howie says no. So now you go to Albert Breer and say, well, I need a better quarterback.
Let me all kidding aside. Here's my problem with the whole thing is that this will never get better because all the things you just said, bro, what else could he accomplish anywhere else that he can't accomplish here? He's still getting 1,000 yards.
Here's the funny part about it.
What you think he's going to go somewhere else and all of a sudden he's going to be a fucking
dude? He's never
win rings and
Sileo. Let's just do some numbers here for a second.
Look at those Tennessee years.
No, I'm not even include the Tennessee years. I don't even care about those. Okay, let's do this math here. He's got 8,029 yards in his career.
What year?
Yeah. 1 second. Let me just get this for you. Okay, so A.J. Brown's been an Eagle for 4 seasons, right? 4 years. He has 5,034 receiving yards in 4 seasons, okay? He has 24. He's got 32 touchdowns in 4 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. So he's got 5,034 yards, 32 touchdowns in his career in Philadelphia. There is not another team he's going to where he's going to have that type of output in 4 years.
No, there is.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there is. You know what the difference is?
Nope.
No way. Listen, he'll go to Tennessee or he'll go to Cleveland and he'll get 100 catches and he'll get 1,300 yards. You'll win 5 games. There lies the difference. A player wants a balance. I'll take the numbers, but I don't want to win. I don't want to win 3 fucking games.
Bro, AJ doesn't want to balance. That's a lie.
I didn't say that. I said a player wants balance. I didn't say a freak show. I said a player.
No, but think about it. Like,
I want my money and win. Don't you want your money and win?
Right. Isn't AJ getting the perfect balance?
I don't know. Yes, he does right now.
He's got 5,000 yards in 4 seasons. That's an average of 1,250 a year. He's got 8 touchdowns a year. He's got the balance. Wait, and he's got the money.
But here, and this is why it won't work. Because there's nothing he can do here that will improve that. and he's still moaning.
This dude's a fucking shrimp. This
Yeah,
dude's
no,
like
no. He said the most important thing he said in this. You know what it is? It's very disappointing, man. It really is. I mean, do you want to be T.O. and you want to be Randy Moss and have all those numbers with no titles at all? Those guys have they're considered the best receivers in football, but you know the one thing they don't have? They never experienced climbing up to Everest and standing and planting your flag. They never experienced that.
Yeah, look, I mean, dude, it's so funny. 615 racks a week. Wait, Charles, and 1,250 yards a year and 9 touchdowns a year. And this dude's still a mope. This dude is a permanent mope. Okay.
Hey, $650,000 a week, and he's reading books on the sidelines and fucking your team up. Hey,
Stills, I could use a couple of those bucks, couldn't I?
Hey, I'll tell you. Yes, I'll tell you what. Well, hey, AJ signed 32.6. Me and Z will take the 0.6.
I'm with you, dog.
Hey, so on May 1st, are you picking up Nolan Smith's 5th-year option?
No.
Of $14 million?
No. I would actually
a kind of underreported deal that people haven't looked at.
I agree. Yes. I mean,
May 1st, you have to have that decision made.
Well, does what happens in free agency change that? I think so.
Yes.
You know, if they're not able to get Phillips back, I think you're probably looking at maybe picking that up. But if not, or if they do get Phillips, you know, I don't want to go here because I don't know that you're here yet, and I don't know it makes sense yet. But I would definitely consider trading him if you feel like Jalen Hunt is good enough to be the 2, because
before May,
you're not going to get, if you don't pick up the 5th-year option. This is his last year. You're not going to get any value next year if you picked up the 5th-year option and then tried to trade him. But do you make your team worse this year? You do, because the 3 you get's not going to be as good as Nolan. So maybe just keep him. Maybe just let it lay and keep him.
I'm going to make a prediction. This bold prediction, like number 2. I bet they trade him on draft night or during the draft. Because April, then May 1st, you have to make that decision.
I think it's got it. What in your mind, though? I mean, they're not going to trade him for a 4th-round pick or a 5th.
No, it'll be a package, something for a player.
Yeah, it's got to be a part of the package.
Well, they'll get a pick back and they trade him for another player.
How about this? 23 and Nolan Smith for max. Is that enough or no? You get back a young edge rusher with some promise.
Remember, I got to take the 30 on too.
Eagles do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would tell the Raiders, hey, I got to take your 30 on here too. I don't know, man. I mean, I think that May 1st deal. Do you agree with me on this one? That the reason that the Eagles are in this position on Jalen Phillips is because Nolan Smith failed at number 30 to take the job.
Yeah. Well, I don't think failed. I just don't think he elevated to the level you want a 1st-round edge rusher to elevate to. You know, I think he's playing himself like a role player. And when you draft a 1st-round edge, you don't want a role player. I mean, you'll take a role player, but that's not what you want. You want, you're looking to get the big upside. And I don't think he's unlocked that upside. And I think that's the reason that they're in the edge market. I mean, look, if Nolan burst onto the scene last year, they're not trading for Jalen Phillips midway through the year.
No,
he didn't. So, that's kind of how you have to play it. Wait, you want to hear something else that's pretty funny? It would be cheaper for the Eagles to bench AJ and stare at him moping and reading his stupid books that nobody gives a rat's ass about than it would be to trade him. It would be cheaper for the team to keep him and let him mope and kill his own value.
Do you think the Eagle fans will start looking at him if he continues this behavior?
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
You're going to start giving him the Ben Simmons treatment.
Yeah, dude, he's like a cispot. I mean, I've been defending this guy all year. I feel like a jackass. I mean,
it is disappointing.
Now you got Albert Breer saying, "Oh, the AJ needs a better quarterback." Nobody's got more balance than him. He's got the top contract. He's got 5K yards in 4 seasons. He's got the playoff success. He's got everything. Every other receiver that I named, Justin Jefferson, well, he's got the yards. Well, he doesn't have any rings. You look at all the other George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, hey, they got the big money and the numbers. They don't have any rings. They don't have any playoff success. They don't have any meaningful football played. I mean, AJ's the one receiver outside of probably Jackson Smith and Jigba who has the balance.
That's right, because Jefferson doesn't. Like you said, Chase doesn't.
Oh, look at this fucking idiot. Zander wants his own thing and wants to control AJ's life. I don't want to control shit. We're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles here and players under contract, Steven. I don't know what fucking world you live in, guy. What the hell are you smoking? Peyote?
Good.
You goof?
Good.
Control his life. I don't give a fuck about AJ's life.
You think who's better of a player would you rather have on your football team, Rashawn Gary, or would you rather have Jalen Phillips?
Wait, so there's been some updates on that since you came on the air. Rashawn Gary actually deleted his post.
Woo! Maybe the Packers are now talking.
Let me go.
Or his agent did what Zander used to do to me. Take that fucker down.
I don't do
You're hurting your market value.
You can post whatever the hell you want.
You're hurting your market value by posting that shit. Here's Gary. 7.5, 7.5, 9, 6, 9.5, 7.5. He's 28 years old. Who would you rather have, Gary or Jalen Phillips?
Yeah, so I'd probably take Rashawn Gary. I don't know. I'd have to look a little deeper. Is Rashawn Gary the better player? He probably is, right?
He is. I think he is. I think he's the better ball player.
He's never had a double-digit sack year, but he's had 7.5, 7.5, 9. Where's his TFLs? Let me see what else this guy can do.
But he's never been hurt like Phillips has. Those TFLs very low. 7.9, 7.8, 7.8.
Whoa, really low.
Yeah, that's kind of low. That means he's not really in the backfield. He's more in space.
Good, a lot of QB hits, but
yeah, that's right. A lot of QB hits.
Yeah, I think it's probably pretty close.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? I mean, how old's Rashawn Gary?
28.
He's Plainfield, New Jersey guy. I didn't know that.
Yep. Where did he play his ball in college?
He played his ball at Michigan.
I didn't know that.
Where's Plainfield? Is that?
I
that's
think
north, right? Yeah, that's
area.
up by Staten Island. I think it's by New York. Yeah, I know where that is.
Okay, that's up near Patterson, up near that.
Yeah, it's up there. It's yeah.
Okay. Who do you think Vic would rather have on his football team? Phillips or Max Crosby?
Who do I think who would rather have?
Vic.
That's a great question. It's a great question. I'm almost inclined to say Phillips. Just because Vic really likes the dudes that can do everything, he did. That's why, Hassan Reddick would have never worked with Vic. Now, I don't think that Max is that one trick. I don't. I think he's got a lot more to his game than just.
Oh, wait, I want to stop you there. So you thought Phillips had a really good impact when he came here, right?
Yeah, okay. I think it was pretty good.
Well, I didn't think he had any impact in Miami. That's like here. Well,
nobody had impact there.
Okay, why would anybody think that Max Crosby would have impact in a shitty Raiders team if he came to a better place with better players? Why wouldn't you think Max Crosby's game?
Well, Max has had a big impact in LA and in Vegas.
Okay, well, why wouldn't you think if that guy came to better players and a better coach and a better situation that his game wouldn't pick up and make an even bigger impact? I didn't think Phillips was dog shit in my. I really didn't think he. I don't want to talk shit on the kid. I'm not talking shit on the kid. Okay, I'm just saying
Crosby's the better player. So if I can't get inside Fangio's head, I think he'd want Max because Max is just a better football player.
He's a better football player.
But Vic, Vic is a little goofy with that. Sometimes Vic prefers different types of players for different reasons. The same reason that Vic Fangio thinks Reed Blankenship's a better safety than C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I don't know if he actually is. I don't think he is. But, for what Vic wants and what Vic likes, he wants disciplined. He wants guys that play the scheme, don't get out of whack, don't, gamble too much out there. So I can't really tell, but I would think he'd want Max. I mean, Max is the better player.
He's a better player.
Yeah, I don't think that's tough to say.
No, it's not tough to say. Gary's also 6'5.5", 280 pounds.
Well, Jalen Phillips is no slouch.
No, but he's like 255. I mean, and he's a big. This dude's 280. This guy's built like Miles Garrett. He's like one of them big giant. He's a big dude, man. And I tell you what, if I were him, leaving the Packers, can I got Mike on the other side? I don't know, man. That's not something I'm looking.
Dude, I said this earlier, and everybody, people don't like it because we're here on JAKIB. We're talking to Philly fans mostly. We got some people in here that are from other fan bases, I'm sure, as we always do. But, one of the other teams that's been highly connected to Max Crosby is the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm just going to say this, like, if they let's just play a scenario, and I get it. It's not, we don't know if this is going to happen, but if the Cowboys sign Nakobe Dean, they trade for Max Crosby, and they draft, let's say, Dylan Dinneman or whatever. They got 2 first-round picks. Well, I'll tell you what, that's going to be a pretty good football team. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to have playoff success, but they're going to be a good team. They're the number one offensive football.
They'll be a threat in the East.
I agree. So just keep an eye on that. I mean, this is why I think the Eagles have to, yesterday we talked about making a splash. Eagles got to be aggressive, man. This is not the time to rest on your laurels, So if AJ, I'm so pissed off at him today with this Albert Breer thing. It really pissed me off. It's just, I think it was Prince in the chat. Prince is normally good about stuff like this. He's like, brothers fight, teammates fight, but that's different. What he did this time, that's turning your back.
Yeah.
I can't trust you anymore. You're a Judas. I think that's the perfect word for it. For those who don't know, look up Judas.
Jerome Brown and I would fight like fucking dogs.
Yeah.
And get this, we would wrestle. Jimmy used to have, but publicly, you would think we were love brothers. Maybe behind the scenes it was a little rougher, but I'll tell you what, man. I'd never turn my back on that guy, and I'd never turn my back on Michael Irvin. The things I know about Michael Irvin I would never say. Dude, they would shock your fucking pants.
I believe it.
Okay, but you know what? I would, and you know what? Why he loves me? He loves me because I would never turn my back. When you do shit like that, and you come out and you start doing this, my quarterback, he basically said this: I need a better quarterback because the guy I have sucks.
And same quarterback that's got him 5K yards in 4 years. Again, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm delusional. I understand that Jalen Hurts is a certain type of player and has, if you want to call them deficiencies, you can call them deficiencies. Every player has them. I understand that. But again, we got to be honest about the full context. This is also the quarterback that got him 2 max contracts.
Yep.
That has a ring on his finger. Yep. That gave him all the success that he's had, or has been a big part of the success that he's had.
Totally.
I mean, what a fucking snake.
That's just a back. That's just a stab in the back. All right. Well, let me ask you then. So, yesterday, and obviously 97.5 and all these other guys now they're stealing bullshit from us here about the Patriots and such. By the way, that All City people, they were all over my LinkedIn. You can tell when somebody's looking at your bullshit. There's like 7 guys that were on my LinkedIn yesterday. And, we have the insight that the Patriots have offered a 2 and 3. I went back and asked my friend again about them pursuing. Supposedly, Zander, you ready for this one? They're calling every day. Patriots are calling every day.
I wouldn't send them to the Patriots.
Why? Because that's where he wants to go?
Yeah, fuck, you're not going to the Patriots. They don't even want to give us a 1 anyway. You get Jets, Cleveland, Raiders. And you don't get the pick.
You want to send them to those teams. You want to send them to the basement. So wait a minute. If you don't play ball in Zander's world, I'm sending your ass. I'm sending your ass to the Jets. I'm sending your ass to places like Cleveland and Carolina and them fucking places, right? Dude,
this is the number one wrench in the Eagles organization right now.
It is.
We'd honestly be having a pretty nice offseason right now if it wasn't for this bullshit.
Yeah.
So you're making Howie's life hard. Now you're slandering your quarterback. And by the way, I saw someone say they didn't see any post from Albert Breer. It was on Albert Breer's podcast that he does. He does a podcast. He's very big. He's very credible.
Yeah, very credible.
So if you listen to the podcast, you'll hear him talk about him saying, Sileo did not make this up. Albert Breer said this on his podcast that at the end, he insinuated A.J. Brown wants to get with a quarterback that's going to get him the football. So it's it happened. It's not fake news. It's not
over at my X account. You can listen.
It's on there. So I listened to the full podcast, and it almost reads like AJ's agent called Albert Breer directly.
Yes.
And told him basically.
Well, and you know what? I don't think a lot of people get, and John tries to educate all the people that watch your show, that all these deals that come out here. Let me pick one here, Z. And I'm going to go and I'm going to do a normal one. And watch this here.
AJ to the Browns.
That would suck. That would suck. All right, here.
AJ to the Browns.
Okay, here's one here. Watch this. Rams signed Cam Curl to a 3-year, $36 million contract.
Good deal for them. That's a good team.
3 years, $36 million contract, okay? And it could be as high as $39 million, right? Well, where do you think you got that from? These deals can't be public until next Wednesday. They have to go through the NFL Players Association and Park Avenue before they're legal in public. Who do you think they're telling that to? The agents are going to people like Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport. They're going to people like Diana Rossini, and they're telling them, here's the deals that are going to be cut this weekend, 3 years, $36 million. So this is all agent talk. And what you just said about the agent going to Albert Breer and saying that, he basically went to him and said, we're doing our due diligence. We did our work. And the quarterback is not good enough for A.J. Brown. He doesn't want to play with him anymore. And that guy, again, I'm looking at legacy. And he said this, Zander, basically, Jalen Hurts doesn't help my legacy.
Well, I think that's a foolish comment. Again, you could point out that, there are certain elements to Jalen's game that might not be conducive for
I think that's irrelevant to the production that he's had in 5 years. And I agree with you. 4 years, I agree with you on what you just pointed out. The 2 NFC titles, the Super Bowl ring, the 2 NFC titles, the amount of yards, the amount of touchdowns. It's completely irrelevant to what A.J. Brown is saying. When you do this, hey, well, Jalen Hurts can't do this. He's not great at progression. That's completely irrelevant.
Look, let's do an exercise here.
It's completely irrelevant.
I just gave you the numbers and just to let's get some clarity on how, because I gave you, what did I give you? 5,025 or 5,000 plus yards.
5,036, I think you said.
Yeah, something like that. All right. So let's look at another great receiver, Justin Jefferson.
5,034 and 32 touchdowns.
So in the last 4 seasons, you know what Justin Jefferson has? With an 1,800-yard season and a 1,500-yard season. He's got 54-64 in the last 4 seasons with 25 touchdowns, okay? So he's got 400 more yards than A.J. Brown and less touchdowns. Anybody else that you want to do? Anybody else want to pick another receiver for all the people who say that Jalen Hurts isn't getting A.J. Brown any numbers? Justin Jefferson had 400 more yards.
So let me go here then. So do you think the Eagles are sacrificing the success of the passing game because of A.J. Brown? Because of all those numbers, you still suck as a passing unit. You understand? And I'm not ripping him. I'm saying this. Do you think going to that guy and making him the primary target has hurt the offense? Because
they were 4-0.
Well, wait a minute. Now, wait. But the offensive passing attack has not been great in the last 2 years. It just hasn't been. It's just not.
They got Saquon Barkley.
Okay. All right. I understand that. And his production.
And the Super Bowl, by the way.
I don't really think he gives a shit about team success.
I know, and that's why we should stop giving a shit about his opinion, because when you have somebody who tells you they don't give a shit about your team winning a Super Bowl, then that's no longer an opinion that should be valid or listened to. And by the way, a couple people want me to do some more numbers. CeeDee Lamb, ready? Last 4 years, 53-79. 53 with a 1750-yard season. 53-79. Let's do Jamar Chase next. To further the point about no matter what AJ thinks, the grass is not that much greener.
Which means you can't make the guy happy.
You can't make this guy happy. Guy 5,000 yards in 4 seasons, and he's still crying up a storm. Now he's slandering Hurts on the way out. Jamar Chase, ready? This gets too good. 53-82. 53-82. With 39 touchdowns.
Without the balance.
Without the balance. So all the best receivers that have the quarterbacks, they got 300 more yards than A.J. Brown in 4 seasons. That's 70 more yards a year.
Then what's the problem?
He's a moper. Put him in the corner, turn the chair around, put him in timeout, and stop letting him dictate every move the Eagles make.
Okay, well, that's not going to change, though.
I know. I'm not saying you're wrong about that.
Howie's in a pickle here. Do you agree?
It is somewhat of a pickle because, how do you handle it?
How do you handle it as a unit in a roster build?
It's cheaper. I don't know. It's you're going to take a $40 million cap hit because the guy cried?
Or are you going to risk your team being sabotaged? Do you think he's sabotaged?
I still can't get over these numbers. This guy, A.J. Brown, cries like he's got Jahan Dotson numbers. The guy's 300 yards behind the 3 best receivers in football.
Then why are people saying he lost a step?
Well, he looks like he lost a step. Jalen Hurts trusted him in the playoff game. Oh, yeah, ball went through his fingers 3 times.
Well, you got quite a problem with the little girl here. What are you going to do?
Little schoolgirl AJ.
Yeah, what are we doing here, man? What's going on here? This guy cries like Emrayes. This fucking guy just sitting around moaning and crying and shit. What are you going to do? What you want to do is you want to spank him and send him
to Cleveland.
Yeah, you want to spank him and send him to Cleveland.
Yeah, send him to Cleveland.
Let's do these supers here before I get scolded with Mike North, by the way. By the way, he can't stand A.J. Brown. So
here's another good point by Prince. I didn't even factor in how many games he missed. That's right, Prince. He missed 3 or 4 last year. He missed, I think, 3 2 seasons ago. I know he missed 1 or 2 in the big seasons. I mean, another good point by Prince. This guy might be more productive than every other receiver in football in the last 4 years with Jalen Hurts as his quarterback.
You think he bails on people and you think he
I think he's a Judas.
You think he bails on them injuries?
Oh, I don't know. You can make that argument after the guy was gambling and doing and dancing with the hoochie mamas in Atlantic City during the playoff game in 21 or 22, whenever that was, 23.
That's right. Philly Godfather, man, said he was up there with the hoochie mamas there drinking.
No, that was this year. I'm talking about 23 when the Eagles flew down to Tampa to play a playoff game. Yeah. And A.J. Brown said, I'm not going. I'm going to head to Atlantic City to the strip club.
Yeah. Hanging out with the hoochie mamas.
What a joke. I should have listened to Mike North. Mike North's been ripping this guy since he started coming on the show.
Yes, he has.
Should have listened to Mike North.
By the way, about Mike North, he got a little pissed off that, you put up there that you had him defending like the McCaskies, and he goes, wait a minute, I'm not defending the McCaskies.
Do I have to rip an editor?
No. I'm just saying there.
I might have to rip an editor because of Mike North. Uh-oh.
Mike North goes like this. You tell me if I defend it.
The transcript is the transcript, Mike. That's what they're going off of.
Let's get these before I get scolded here. Let's get these super chats here.
We got 4 minutes. We got quite a few supers. He says, Roll Philly. What's up, Roll? Good to see you, brother. Z, tinfoil hat. What if Howie's giving up Carter for Crosby because he's getting Milton back?
Not happening. Not happening.
I don't want Carter to leave. I don't want Carter to leave either. That's dumb. No. Here's Phillies. What's up, man? Zander, your brain must still be in the Smoky Mountains. Parsons is good, but he is not a player you can depend on unless he was playing possum in Dallas. Wait, the Phillies ace. All right, so you don't like Michael Parsons because he was a Cowboy. Are you going to sit here and tell me that you don't think Michael Parsons is that good of a football player?
He's a good player.
The whole league was ready to trade the farm and pay him 46.
Yeah, he's a great player.
Come on, man. Here's Paulie B. Does the Eagles brass think maybe they're better off with JD, who has become a leader in the locker room, and a Jomo? See, that's an interesting question.
That, to me, I'm telling you, man.
More Jomo can rush the passer.
Bro, I think the Carter stuff, I think it's real. I think it's a real thing.
Well, if the Crosby stuff is true with Carter, then it's 100% real because that's now two straight trade discussions that Carter's been included in.
That's right.
Here's Justin. What's up, Justin? Sue is a knucklehead and a great player. I see Carter the same way. In my opinion, he isn't a guy that stays with the team 6+ years. Yeah, I don't see it like that.
I don't think he's as bad as Sue, but Sue was a great player, man.
Yeah. Here's 18 Wheelan. Send AJ to the Patriots. Let 2004 go. Nah, no thank you. Send him to the Jets or Cleveland or Vegas.
Or the Cardinals.
Yeah, or the Cardinals. Ramirez, this the guy you want to keep. Cleveland, you go. See ya. And maybe Ramirez. Here's Paulie. The way you conducted yourself as a player matters when they voted you in the Hall of Fame, and doing stuff like that is not good. I don't know who he's talking about here. I think maybe Carter.
I guess so, Carter.
Couple more here. Cody says, damn, I'm late. What's going down? Godsey fired up. I don't know who that is. Here's Spray. What's up, Spray? You get him, Zander. About tired of this crybaby AJ bullshit. Catch the ball or SDF you, Mr. Brown. I'm with you, dude. I really didn't like this Albert Breer thing. This is the one that's bothered me.
He took a shit on Jalen today.
It's just a Judas. It's a betrayal. It's
AJ Brown took a shit.
Brothers fight. We're cool with brothers fight.
That's right. That's right.
But you're going to betray him? Ramirez, Zan finally coming to the dark side. Sith Lords. Roll Philly. Trade 1K, always moping. Smitty's better. Oh, I tell you what, Philly's going to turn on this guy quick.
Oh, yeah. Already has.
Mr. Hill, if they trade AJ, couldn't they package their pick in the 31st and move into the top 10? Yeah, but here's the problem. You want to replace a great player with a draft pick? I don't like draft picks.
Me, man.
Not when you're a contending team. When you're a young team or you're trying to build for the future, yeah, that's fine. When you're trying to go win a Super Bowl,
I want the guarantee, dude, of the great player.
Couple more here. Mikey Shreds. I hate to say it, but where would Jerry Jones send AJ? He wouldn't care. He'd send him to the NFC because he'd
re-up him.
Yeah. JJ, Jalen Hurts probably wants a receiver that doesn't drop 3 balls in a playoff game. Touche. Agreed. Here is Dirty Date. I mean, we were undefeated last year when AJ and Hurts played the whole game. We were also 4-0 when he wasn't getting his yards and he was moping. Then he had 3 straight games of 100+. And what was the record in those games? I think 1-2.
Yep.
Mikey Shreds, you need to tweet those wide receiver numbers, Z. So, yeah, we should.
Yeah, you should.
Here's Kyle. If AJ wants to keep crying, I would make it miserable by trading him to the team with the best deal, even if it's the Cardinals. Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Dirty D, y'all ever work with Work with someone who is bitching about the job I do every day. AJ is that guy. You'll never be happy. Keep him and ignore him. Yeah, put him in a corner. Like I said, turn the chair around and don't give him any more.
And just keep giving him $30 million.
21 to 25 is 5 years, but not 4. Sean Davey, I hate to break it to you, guy. Thanks for the $2, but you're stone cold wrong. He got here in 22, and he's played 4 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. But thanks for the 2 beans.
He wasn't in the team in 21.
By the way, I can't wait to hear Mike North today because I was a big Bears guy last year because me and John debated them in the offseason going into the year. I said I thought that Ryan Poles made some good decisions, and I thought they were going to have a move. I'll tell you what, I watched a lot of Bears football this year. Drew Dahlman really kept that offensive line together. And I think that is a massive freaking loss for a team that finally got an offensive line that was having a good year. So I don't know what they're going to try and do to replace him. Maybe they go the Linderbaum route.
Here's the last one here, Z. If Jaylen Carter gets traded, I'm storming the Norvicare. Brian Pump would unleash a wrath that would match the pain the U.S. would inflict on Iran.
Oh, man, I don't want to go down that route. But
no doubt,
all right,
man.
so get the Mike North, brother. I appreciate you.
You got it, brother. Like I said, folks, be prepared. Big Z's going to be doing a lot of work this weekend. I can guarantee you.
We will see. All right, man. Later.
Appreciate you, brother. Love you, man. All
Love
good.
you.
All right, man. I couldn't wait for this because last week people started DMing me going like this. Mike North is like pissed because he's like, wait a minute. I didn't give the McCaskies any love. That's one. And the other one is this. How about that Ryan Poles fleecing the Buffalo Bills? You sent DJ Moore, who had 600 some odd yards last year, and you got a 2 and a 5? I say great for Chicago. Without further ado, the man who the Joker would say stole his act. Without any further ado, my friend Mike North, the legend from Chicago, joins us now. How you doing, brother?
Oh, buddy, it's great to talk to you. And by the way, I saw that tweet last week. I said, hey, maybe I didn't hear something, or maybe I didn't do it right. Maybe it sounded like I did defend them. But we got an extra 1,700 people doing that. So that's what that was all about. Don't get me in trouble with the bosses. I don't need that. I could see what was the problem with you and a bunch of other places that you've been. I could tell you right now. I'm here minding my own business. I came around the corner, got it with the Louisville Slugger just now. But it was great. Zander, I love all those guys. I love the station. It's doing great. And you know what? That was all those falsehoods and lies and fake news that was told about me. Also had some good content in it, and it was the AJ Brown situation. And I've been saying he's a bum since day one, and I'll continue to say he's a bum. He can try to lay out Jalen Hurts all he wants. Okay. Bottom line is get rid of them. Most big receivers, if you trade them to a team that doesn't have a gifted or winning type of field general quarterback, they'll fade. And, if you don't know that, I mean, poor Larry Fitzgerald, for Christ's sake, thank God he finally got one, and other receivers that don't get any. So, you know what? I think A.J. Brown, as long as he's on the team, you don't ignore him, like I heard the one gentleman say, because you won't be able to. He wants to be the show, and that can hurt a team, as we saw last year.
Well, let me throw this here at you, too.
I love when you do that.
Well, I'm going to here. It was on the Albert Breer, and I'm going to paraphrase it here, Mike. What he basically said is that, and you know how everything goes through agents right now until those deals get done next week when they go through the league office.
Right.
Association. So the only thing that you're seeing with these deals right now are really agents talking to the media people, which are now megaphones in many ways. Well, what you're hearing now is that Albert Breer, and what Zander was referencing, said that, look, the A.J. Brown camp is doing their due diligence. They're looking at teams that really want to be serious about trading for him. And he's worried about legacy right now. And he's looking at the end of the day, he wants a quarterback that can get him the football, and he just wants a better quarterback.
Well, that's too bad. If I'm Howie Roseman, I'm saying we're going to try to do our best to trade you somewhere. You're not guaranteed the quarterback's going to be all that good. And, will the quarterback be healthy? I mean, we saw what happened with the Indianapolis Colts, Dan, this year. They were rolling. They were like 7-1. Nobody could stop them. Everything was going well. And then, you lose your quarterback and the rest goes downhill. You see other situations like Miami, where the quarterback or Arizona now. I mean, there are guys. I mean, look at what it's done for Marvin Harrison. He should probably be a better receiver if Marvin Harrison's on some of these teams with the great quarterbacks. Who knows what kind of player? So if you're a receiver, you do suffer. But if you're a receiver on a Super Bowl team where the guy's been there twice, your quarterback has taken you there twice, and you have lost players from that team, not that other people aren't to blame. But if you're the guy that caused some of the chaos, that caused them not to go all the way, which I thought they were going to, then, that's a problem. Because I saw it this year with the Bears. There was no problems. The previous years, there were problems on the sidelines, lack of leadership, what have you. They couldn't get their story straight. They were wrong. The coaching staff did a terrible job. You get a coach that keeps things in line. Granted, with a younger team. And it's interesting. I keep hearing people interested in Max Crosby and A.J. Brown. I want to know who isn't interested. And why wouldn't you be interested in an A.J. Brown? And I guarantee you'd get some pretty damn good answers, including the Bears.
Yeah.
The Bears.
How about the Chicago Bears?
Well,
you guys have two receivers that you went out and did some Roma Dunza and the kid from Missouri. So, I mean, adding him there, I don't know. But, I mean, you want to try to get as much talent around Caleb Williams as possible.
Well, first of all, A.J. Brown would be the best receiver of those guys because as soon as they got hurt, he was out longer than I thought. I mean, the more that each week he stayed out, his afro got blown even bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be doing the reinvention of the Mod Squad by the time it was all over, playing Link Hayes, if you will, Clarence Williams III.
Oh my God.
But A.J. Brown would be the best receiver, but I don't think the Bears would want to touch him. See, I think when you have problem type players that are good, you not only look at who wants you, but who doesn't want you. And I think Baltimore could use a guy like him.
I'm going to give you, Mike, I want to read this to you here.
All right.
Okay. So, and I'm going to text you who it is.
Why?
So
Why don't you just tell
this
me?
is the senior. Well, because I don't want to like.
So when you text me, I can tell everybody, and I'll take the blame.
Okay, good. You do that. So, but a lot of these guys in here know who it is.
Okay.
So this is a senior executive from the New England Patriots.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Bob Kraft.
And no, this is the guy I played with.
Who was it?
And I asked him this question, A.J. Brown. 1 and a 3, is that the price? And he said this: we've offered a 2 and a 3 to the Philadelphia Eagles. Mm-hmm. And this is the thing that you just got through talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's giving a 1 and a 2 to a disgruntled dude.
That's right. And I didn't even know about that. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to put up with it. And if you're look, if he would have knocked off some of the nonsense at some point last year, he would have been better off. But he kept wanting to be the story. Me guy. So I'm all for it. Now, DJ Moore is another story. DJ Moore had two great, I'm hearing people that, you hear the under 25-year-olds say, he's a legend. No, he played 3 years. He's Mushin Mohammed. He's Alshon Jeffrey. He's Brandon Marshall. What these guys all were for the Bears, 3, 4, 5. Marty Booker. That's who he was. But he made some clutch catches. And he took some pressure off once the Dunze got hurt. And you had a guy like Burford, who's very good out of Missouri. One of these guys is going to have to step up because you just lost the center that they didn't plan on losing. Number one.
Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, just jolted everybody.
I sent you that text, by the way.
Okay, let me take a look at it. I'll tell you, I heard it and I thought it was.
Yeah, no, I sent you that text.
I thought it was my bookmaker.
That guy, he works next to Elliott Wolf with the Patriots.
Okay. Well, and the Patriots, let me say this. They had a Randy Moss situation where he had been an issue in Minnesota.
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, and they've had other guys that have done the job. But I just find, and Crosby's another one. All of a sudden, he became Deacon Jones. The guy had 10 sacks in 17 games. I remember Doug Atkins had 17 on an expansion team, the New Orleans Saints, in 14 games. Mm-hmm. Don't try to impress me with 10 sacks. Okay, and then I look at individual tackles. I say to myself, if anybody gives 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby, they're out of their mind. The Bears should just keep their draft picks or try to go after the guy from Cincinnati because he's as good as Crosby. Crosby's best years, he had injuries too. His best years were 22 and 23, folks. Look at after 23. Look at his years compared to
the Bears interested in Crosby?
That's what you keep hearing. I think the asking price would be too high. They'd be nuts to give up 2 number ones, in my opinion. Would he make things better? Yeah, but if the rest of the line, I remember the same hysteria over getting Montez Sweat, that he was going to dominate. Never happened because they didn't have another guy. If you're going to be dominant, I don't care who you are in the National Football League, for the most part, if you're a linebacker like Parsons and you're a stand-up guy, that might be different. But if you're on get down in the 3s like Crosby, there were games I bet them all. There were games I didn't hear his name this year. Because if you want, you can stop a guy. You can stop a defensive end in all sorts of ways, including running away from him and rolling out against him, against his will.
Mike, did you like the I think the Bears and Ryan Poles, I think they got the better end of this deal. I mean,
absolutely.
Are you good with what they did?
Yeah, I'm great with what they did because DJ Moore was getting paid too much money. Last year, it would have been better to probably trade him because we could have gotten maybe higher because he had 96 catches. Okay, he went down to 50 catches, but he made some big plays especially against Green Bay, but he also screwed up against Green Bay by not running that precise pattern. And the year before, he got hit in a game, and while the play was going on, just walked off the field. So he had one of those type of situations where he earned his money, he busted his ass. Here's the thing that I liked about him, compared to Odunze, and he never missed a game in 5 years. He played hurt. And those guys now in any league are few and far between.
What do you think?
God, was that good, huh? Thank you, Mom. Thank you.
Hey. Yeah. What do you think the Bears do in this offseason here? Are they going to be players in free agency? Or do you think this is going to be more draft and more? Because you guys, again, I think there's a chance that you guys could take a step back.
I agree.
But again,
I agree if they could take a step forward. The 9.5 it suggests to me they can win 10 games too. I mean, how are the other teams going to do in the division? I think Detroit's going to be great. Yeah. I think Minnesota has made a decision, which I think was unfair to the kid. We'll see what happens. He's not the one that made the deal, McCarthy, but I think someday he may be a guy that we look at. He's not as bad as Sam Darnold was. He's not as bad as a couple of those New York Jet quarterbacks were. I saw him come back from 3 touchdowns against the Bears in the first game of the season. So I think he's got something, but maybe he's got injuries, and you know what? He might have a confidence problem. But I think the Vikings are going to still take a step back next year. The Lions are going to be great. Green Bay wants the Bears, and they want to kick our ass so bad, but I don't know if that's good enough.
You know, you guys only have $8.5 million when it comes to the cap. How do you think Ryan Poles is as a general manager?
I think he's what a bounce back from the first 3 years. I mean, they gave him an extension. I said he's in year 4. He's the guy that hired Eberflus.
Yes,
he's the guy that made some just dread awful trades and stuff like that. But the DJ Moore acquisition was big. His draft picks have been better. He stuck to his gun on Caleb Williams, but the jury's not out on Caleb Williams yet. He had a good year and he had a bad year. So I want to see him getting better, especially that 58% completion percentage. It's not 1970. You got to throw for 63, 64, 65 if you want to have any kind of chance. But now we have to get an offensive lineman. And we got to get ourselves probably another receiver. So we'll see what happens because we got a lot of work to do and the schedule's tougher this year.
And he did, like one of the guys in here said, he did hire Ben Johnson too. I mean,
took balls. I was against him getting that. I wasn't against Ben Johnson. I was against making him the 6th highest guy at $13 million. Now he might be a bargain. I was wrong about that. But then again, what happens? Everybody loved Brian Dable his first year with the Giants.
Yeah, no. You got to wait and see how this thing plays.
You got to wait and see a little bit and see what happens. I'm sure people were worried about Sirianni when he first got the job. They're still worried about him. So it's a year-by-year thing.
Absolutely, man. All right. I want to ask you about Lou Holtz.
I love Lou Holtz.
You're a Notre Dame guy. You tell me.
Well, first of all, we couldn't stand you guys, as you know. It's well established. And that was great for college football. And I never ceased to amaze me. I watched 1 and 2 of the Catholics First Convicts. I think it was one of the greatest promotions of all time. I loved the 2 teams, to be honest with you. I was a Vinny Testaverde guy. I'm half Italian. I loved them. I didn't like the camouflage, the Warren Sapp camouflage, everybody coming down like they were going to the jungle to fight somebody.
No, that was us, actually. That was
I just love all those teams. I was good friends. I'm good friends. I'd love to see him again. A gentleman, Shane Matthews. Loved him. Loved Shane when he was quarterbacking with the Bears. Steve Walsh. I love the ball control quarterbacks, the guys that did it. But Lou Holtz, I interviewed him 3-4 times, but I got to do a promotion with him at a place called Riley's Daughter in Chicago on the South Side. And we were supposed to go on about 4:00, and it was a packed house in the beer garden there. He was there on a recruiting trip, and I was there to promote the station and to MC and to interview him. And I got there early, and they said, well, Coach Holtz is in there. So I go in there, and I'm by myself with Lou Holtz. And because they were not ready for the show. They got a place for him. And, hi, Mike, it's nice to meet you. He looked like the prison snitch. He looked like the guy. Remember the guy in White Heat that almost dropped the thing on Cagney? That's who he was. He was like the prison snitch. He looked like, caretaker. He looked like caretaker in Longest Yard, the guy that got burned to death, Yeah, the guy that burned him to death. He looked like the arsonist. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He was like, after he talked to me, I was like this, I like your work. You got, you know what comes first, family and everything. I was on a hangover. I hadn't been home for and he was talking to me, and I was like this, just listening to every word. Inspiration guy. Chris Zorich speaks highly of him.
Chicago guy.
Yeah, Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
I knew Jerome and his mom. They came to a couple functions.
Rocket Ishmael.
Outstanding. All these guys. They loved them. And that's the true meaning. And then he'd go to all these schools. Arkansas, kick ass. Minnesota, he won it. Folks. I'm going to say it again. The Minnesota Golden Gophers.
William and Mary, he won at.
William and Mary, for God's sake. He got the Notre Dame job. I was so happy for him. And he was great on TV. He was a great inspiration. He had the whole package. But, I mean, really, he looked like the guy with the limp. He could have been Dustin Hoffman in Midnight Cowboy. You know what I mean?
Let me give you a story, Mike. So, I lived in Orlando a little bit.
He wanted Jimmy Johnson too, man.
Oh, my God. So, listen, I keep checking all the time over on my coach's X account, and I keep looking, and not a chance in hell Jimmy Johnson's going to comment, because Jimmy did not like him and he did not like Jimmy.
He said it.
And there is nothing public. But I got to tell you, so, we go over, and Lee Corso also lived in Orlando, and I lived there for a little bit. They invite us. Lee invites us to a cigar place. So I'm sitting there. Lou Holtz walks in, and he had recruited me for Minnesota. Right after he left Arkansas, he got the Minnesota job, and I did take my recruiting trip up there. So we're sitting there, and all our games, we beat the living piss out of Notre Dame one year, 58-7.
Yeah, I know.
And that started. Then the next year was his first time that I played against him. We beat him 24-0. Notre Dame was terrible before he took over.
Absolutely.
And they just felt, I couldn't believe how far they had fallen off.
Nobody could.
They were not good.
They were losing to the Florida schools. They were losing recruits. They were losing everything.
Murdered, man. And
they had high standards still. They weren't giving the football players. Like Chris Zorich got some breaks. The what, I forget what the name of the bill was. 47.
The Prop 48.
Prop 48. So they were able then. But Notre Dame, to be doing what they do, they still have tremendously high standards compared to other schools.
Yeah, absolutely. So he goes like this. He walks in and he goes, I like you, but I hate Miami. And I said, Coach, I like you. And I got to tell you, to this day, I still hate Notre Dame. And he goes like this. He goes, well, let me tell you how lucky we were. You know how lucky we were to play in an era where we created things like that for college football.
Unbelievable.
Things that people talk about to this day, convicts versus the Catholics, those
Awesome.
great memories. He goes, this one coming up this year, this November 7th game, I think is going to be off the charts this year in South Bend. And I'm like, Coach, I didn't realize that one time I did this, Mike. I played against Bo Schembechler. I played against Bobby Bowden. I played against Barry Switzer, and I played against Lou Holtz.
Great
4
coach.
consecutive weeks in a row.
And
And get this, I didn't know what we were in back then and how all of that was like, historical when it came to college football. And I just didn't realize it. And he looked at me and he goes, and he said like this, he goes, there's no question we played in one of the greatest eras of all time because college football.
Absolutely. Don't forget Joe Paterno. You had Paterno. You had
all these guys.
You had a Terry Donahue, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
You had at USC, just John Robinson.
Yep.
I mean, there were different styles of coaches. Some ran the ball. Some Woody Hayes. I remember the night Woody Hayes slugged that kid from Clemson. I was like, oh my God. I mean, you think Bobby Knight was nuts? This football player runs this.
Mike, I didn't go to Ohio State because Woody, they got Earl.
Threatened to kill you.
Listen. So Earl Bruce got the job, and Chris Spielman goes like this. He goes, you got to come. And I go like this. I go, so I took the trip. I met Earl Bruce, and I went, no freaking way am I playing for that guy. I get a call from a guy. Hello, Dan, this is Woody. This guy had a lisp. I think, Dan, this is
right.
Woody. And I'm going like, this ain't Woody Hayes. And it's like, then I hear you want to come to Ohio State. When I took my recruiting trip, there he was. And I'm like, Coach, my whole entire life, I wanted to play for you. I wanted to play for Woody Hayes. And I just admired that guy. But, Coach Holtz, man, he was a special dude. He impacted many lives.
I'm sorry that Jimmy, look, it's hard though. Because we all have those 2-3 fucking people. You don't know what happened. What happened to him? He was around, now he's gone. What happened? The phone used to ring, now it don't ring. You try to call, you can't. You wonder about it, then you let it go. Okay. But Jimmy Johnson and Lou Holtz, no matter what happens, because he said, I want Notre Dame to beat Miami and you gotta save Jimmy Johnson for me. I mean, the guy, I swear he looks like Ransom. I mean, it was hilarious. It was great. It was great.
I'll just tell you that I remember when
who were the 4 coaches? I'll give you exactly what I thought of them.
Okay, the one I just mentioned.
Yeah, that you just mentioned.
Okay, hang on here.
You said the 4 coaches.
What'd you make of this guy here, Barry Switzer?
If you wanted to be a side piece for a guy and you were looking to get laid, he was the guy you hung out with. No doubt about it.
He won a lot.
Don't tell me that guy was always on recruiting trips.
Hold on here. He won an awful lot at OU, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. He was great. Look, I love when he took over the Cowboys. He said, he was like Tom Hagen. He had some power, but he didn't have some power. Like in The Godfather, he couldn't make the altar. With the Cowboys, he watched. And that took guts because every guy wants to change something. And he said, I'm not changing a thing. You guys go out there, Troy Aikman, and get it done.
What do you make of Bobby Bowden?
Oh, if you needed a pair of gym shoes, if you needed sneakers, if you needed a pager, you know what I mean? I mean, Bobby Bowden, he could have been sitting in the same booth as Al Pacino and Scarface. He could have been Frank Lopez, for God's sake. But all kidding aside, a lot of respect for him. A lot of people had respect for him in Florida. He was Florida State football. When you think of Florida State football or Florida State at all, it's Bobby Bowden. It's period.
He's the most influential coach in the history of the state of Florida.
No, it probably.
Because he's the first one that made college football relevant in the state of Florida.
And he's the first one that got you out before there was no cash on bail. He's the first one that got you out without bail if he needed to.
I'm going to ask you a real hard one here because I really love this guy because I didn't know how much he thought of me after I had left Miami or when I was even there. And Coach Johnson told me how much he thought I was like, in the same room with like Matt Millen when Millen was at Penn State.
Ooh, that's a good compliment.
Yeah, I got a great compliment from him saying that
Matt Millen a little off.
Me and
Yeah, we're gonna take our 7th receiver. We'll be over here. Thanks.
Hey, how about he called Jerome and I? He called us Salt and Pepper too, because it was Bruce Clark and it was Matt Millen that played interior, and he thought him and I were the kind of same comparison.
That's a compliment, man.
And it was I saved it. It was in print. It was in the Miami Herald. What did you make of Joe Paterno?
I loved him. I'm sorry what happened. I don't know what happened. I did look at his times there. I think he was led astray by that coach who's still doing time. But I loved him. I loved him as a head coach. I loved him the night that they played Miami. I bet him. I believed him as a football coach. As far as what I went to an Illinois Penn State game. It was great there. I had the time of my life. I said, I was half in the bag. I'm going. And
was that the last game he was coached?
And I don't think so. I think this was earlier.
But that's the last game he coached. He coached was against Illinois.
I love Joe Paterno, but it's a shame what happened. Absolutely. And if you're involved in that kind of stuff and you get involved and you're the head guy, most of the time you're going to fall.
You know what happens too, Mike? I think sometimes when you stay at a place too long, you're revered for a long time, and then at the very end you're reviled with things. And sometimes,
that will revile you if you get something like that happening.
Well, here,
look what happened with Bobby Knight. He put his hand on the kid.
Here's my take on him. He's not responsible for that animal's behavior, but he's accountable because his name is on the marquee.
That's right.
It's his program.
And Sandusky worked for him.
That's right.
That's the way it goes.
His name is on the marquee.
But as a football coach,
spectacular.
And before that happened, he was unbelievable, and he's still respected by people that aren't afraid to say it. But
I respect him.
But yeah, he made a wrong move, Sandusky.
Yeah.
You always wonder what kind of conversations they had.
That's right, and I will. How about Coach Schembechler?
Through my childhood, every week, I'm going to tear up a little bit. Every week, you'd look forward to a big tilt, and by the third quarter, you had a gun in your mouth, going, "Just kill me now." It's 3-0.
Oh my God!
And they'd say, the yardage on Michigan State 120, Ohio State 98. But what a defensive battle, 3-0. Rex Kern was 2 for 9 for 17 yards.
Rick Leach was 1 for 4.
Yeah, Rick Leach was 3 for 16. But Tyrone Wheatley put on 42 yards. He broke 1 for 4 yards. And I'd be like this. We're going to break. I'm Keith Jackson. We're going to break for another commercial. No, please get it over with. Every year. I'll say this. The football is more exciting now when you got guys like Ryan Day and Harbaugh and those guys that came through. They still consider them great coaches. They were there at the right time. Did you like the 10-year war?
Yeah,
I liked it. But I never paid attention.
But see, you're a Notre Dame guy, man. You like Notre Dame at that time, because I believe it was right after Parsegian.
How could you not?
They had Dan Devine after Parsegian. I believe they had Devine, right?
First of all, I loved Dara Parsegian. If you're asking me who's the best coach I ever saw on the sidelines, who kept his demeanor, but once again, he got sullied with the 10-10 tie. He could have gone for it.
Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State, Bubba Smith's team. And, but I loved Dara Parsegian, loved visiting with him, interviewed him 9-10 times on the radio, was a gentleman's gentleman. He promised Rudy that he'd play, and then he left. So then Dan Devine tried to screw him, but Rudy got on. So I just think that I think Notre Dame football, you were right. It took a tumble until Lou Holtz came. In between, it was Parsegian, then Holtz. That's what it was. And Jerry Faust was a disaster.
They had good players, though, Mike. They had some good players there.
My favorite Notre Dame players of all time? Jack Snow. Played wide receiver, and he was a wide receiver for the Rams and then announcer. Outstanding receiver. I mean, you got to love a white guy that says, once I catch the ball, you're not catching me. I mean, that's the kind of, and he played like 8-9 years in the pros. His father was, his son was JT Snow of the Giants.
I'll tell you that. Yes, that's right.
What?
And get this though.
You're not getting this anywhere else. Get out of here.
So at Notre Dame,
somebody listening to something else.
Great friends with the Golick family. Bob Golick was is a great friend.
Yeah.
So like
Animal.
I told you, I think I told you this when I went to, and they wanted me to go on my recruiting trip. I went to Catholic schools. I'm a Jesuit. I did all that. So I go to my recruiting trip and I was like, I was thinking of going, and I told Joe Theismann this because Joe Theismann told me
one of the best guys around.
Get this. He was committed to go to NC State. And Parsegian talked him out of it. And then Theismann asked me, he goes, how come you didn't go to Notre Dame? And I said, do you really want me to tell you? And he goes, yeah. And I go, okay. Well, when I went there, man, and I'm looking around.
Because you had to go to school?
No. I'm looking around for the chicks, and I'm going, where are they? And they go like this. They're at St. Mary's. And I went, excuse me?
Across the river. You got to take a
float. And I went like this
with a rowboat.
Wait, I went like this. I went, wait a minute. There's no chicks here? Yeah, they're over there. And I went, that's like the Potomac River.
Yeah.
And I went like this. No chicks, no Dan. Holy cow.
If you ever seen the movie Rudy, Rudy wants to go to Notre Dame. He's at the college across the street that was co-ed, and he's looking across the river. I thought it was in Mississippi. It was so big, for Christ's sake.
I was like, no way. I'm not going to a school with no chicks. And they go, where are you going this week? I go, I'm going to Miami on a recruiting trip.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. Are you crazy? The guy looked at me and he's you know what? I think it was Barry Alvarez.
Jimmy Johnson. See, that's the difference. Holtz could have been like Father Fitzgerald in going my way. He could have played the role. And Jimmy Johnson could be in Tulsa King. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between the two guys. I mean, because Jimmy's more, I love Jimmy Johnson. I love his life. I love what he's done. I love that he got out. He wasn't going to go anywhere.
You notice, Mike, Jimmy
was smart. He was smart.
You know what? Jimmy always did this. Look at all the places he was the head coach. He never stayed longer than 5 years.
Right.
Because he thought, get this, it wore him out so much every single time that he's one of those
he did the right thing.
That's just where you're welcome out. He's like Jim Harbaugh. You know, you can't really stay too long in one place because this guy wears you out.
I love Jimmy. I got to be honest. I partied with Jimmy. I thought he had a head of concrete. I never knew he was this wizard, for crying out loud. You know what I mean?
Hey,
never once thought he'd coach. And his dad was a coach. His brother's a coach.
Yeah.
Tom Crean is his brother-in-law. He's a coach. I never thought to tell somebody, that's my buddy Jim Harbaugh. Someday he's going to be a head coach and kick everybody's ass. You know?
When I played against him when he was at Michigan.
Oh.
And this,
I loved him with the Bears. I loved him as a quarterback.
You know, he played 17 years.
Yeah, and he should have gone to the Super Bowl with Indianapolis. The guy dropped the ball.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
17 years he played quarterback.
Played for Ditka. Ditka grabs him. You know,
years, man.
What a career.
Long time. He was.
Well, Jimmy's made of granite. You know what? He's solid. If you ever want to bump into Jim, he's one of the guys you bump into and you go 3 feet to the right or 3 feet to the left. Granite.
Absolutely.
Like you, Dan.
Hey, yeah. Well, now, no, I can't jump over and stack the quarters now. I finally here.
I don't know what I look like Mel Kiper's bastard. I look like Mel Kiper's bastard child with the peak. With the widowed peak, for Christ's sake. Okay,
all right. The last one here, Mike.
All right.
Indiana Bears. Where are we on this, or is the thing fading?
Quieted it down pretty good, didn't it? I told everybody, don't worry. Arlington's going to get him. Danny had his fun with me, batting me around like a cat playing with a mouse last week. You know, I was, and then I had to read the headlines, and then I went like this. And I don't want to I'm not getting on the headline writers. See, Zander tried to put me, but Zander's the boss, right? I mean, I don't know why you start with me, why you're trying to put me in a bad spot.
No. Well, no. Actually, you know what? I
tried to promote us. That's all I'm doing.
No. Well, actually, what you did was at the end of the day, if you know Big Sills, I got my game here.
You
And
do have
then
your
they'll
game.
go
I've said
and-
that about you since I met you.
Hey, and actually what you did was you got that thing up there 7,000 views. So after you
That's
did
right,
that,
baby.
hey, you know what? You got to remember, Mike, there's always an angle to everything.
I had more angles, man. I ran out of angles at one point. I started taking shortcuts. That's all you can do.
I mean, you
that's
got
it.
as many angles as Christy Nome right
Let
now.
me tell you something. I said, I'm glad that he wrote. BB says, my wife's reading. She goes, oh, it says here that you defended the McCaskies. I said, yeah. I go, what? I did the cartoons. What? And no. So then I looked at it. I go, okay. I go, and I asked, what do you think? And then all of a sudden, bing, bang, boom. That's it.
That's right. And
God, what just another eventful day. I love it here. I love my half hour with the Sills.
By the way, I got it. So I go to Zander. I go like this. Mike's segment on Thursday is awesome. He goes, dude, that guy's great. So
I love Zander.
We love having you here, man, and I appreciate you coming here.
No problem, man. Anytime, every week. I love when you send me the message, though.
Yeah.
Because one day, if I don't get the message, I'm gonna be like, we're all head cases. I'm gonna be like this.
You don't really need a message, Mike.
I'm trying to tell you that.
Well,
but you know what? I like to get it from you. It means you're okay too.
Yeah, you don't really need one, but I send it only out of courtesy because I don't want to make sure that you're not doing something at that time because you're a busy guy too. So
well, I'll tell you what, it's a great time, great show, great people, and the station's kicking ass. And keep going, baby.
We will see you next week, Mike.
Thank you, brother. See you later, guys.
That is the latest. That is the greatest, Mike Norton. We appreciate him all the time. Thank you guys so much. Well, your mom likes me. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. How you doing? Let me go back here. I think we got some supers that I got to go back and nail. Got to roll back here. Here we go. Here's one. I love Carter, but do you think the Eagles know a little more about his shoulders? Yes. Corporate B Pump. If Jaylen Carter gets traded, I'm storming an Novacare. Brian Pumper would unleash a wrath that would match the pain of the U.S. that they would inflict on Iran. Yes, sir. Always great guest. Absolutely. I told you this. Let me add it up here real quick. By the way, the legendary Philly Godfather is going to join us here in a couple of minutes. So I do this 7, 7. That's 14. And we do another 6, 3, 3. 20 guests a week. Big Sills puts on his shows between the legendary JAKIB show, my Sports Grid show, and my Tampa Morning show. By the way, I got a YouTube channel. They started with that too, so people can watch it and join it. We're going all over the place here, so we appreciate everybody. Also, don't forget our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America. We come back. By the way, we are going to hit more on this Jaylen Carter story. So as I continue with my friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm, with over $20 billion recovered. This is what makes Morgan & Morgan second to none. They win. Okay, folks, I told you about the family in Pennsylvania. They ended up getting a $650,000 settlement. They ended up getting nearly $26 million in settlement. Or the family in Florida, they ended up getting initially offered $350,000. They ended up getting nearly $12 million. Easiest decision you'll make. Family run, family owned. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Mm-hmm. Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Yes, indeed. Starting to get around a little bit here. If the Eagles are floating Jaylen Carter in a trade talk, that sends one clear message to me. And this is Anthony DeBona. And I believe he's a guy that sits in Philly here. I don't know who he is. But I'm also starting to see more people starting to float this idea that Jalen and his name is out there. And, yeah, by the way, A.J. Brown, Albert Breer, this little take of mine here that, how about Albert Breer talking about A.J. Brown talking and taking a shit on Jalen Hurts? It's pissed off Zander today. And I'm paraphrasing. How about this? I just simplify it. AJ doesn't want to play with Jalen Hurts anymore. He doesn't want to play with Hurts. Why is it that hard for you to believe? T.O. didn't want to play with Donovan McNabb anymore. What's that hard? Why is that so difficult for you to believe? All kidding aside, AJ, what is wrong with you? $32 million and you can't be happy with the team. Serious? I mean, Jesus. You're a spoiled brat. You need a spanking. Send him to Cleveland or the Jets. Twiz, I'm healthy scratching AJ week 1 if I can't trade him. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what I'll do if I'm to Zander's point. And I want to say this. Listen, as a human being, let me fix this here. As a human being, I get what you guys are talking about. You guys are dead right. Shut up and sit in the corner and behave. You know what I'll do? I'll do this. I'll stop playing hard. You'll pay me $32 million and you'll fucking like it too. and I'll make your life miserable. And you don't like it, I'll destroy your fucking season until I get my way. Is that a baby? Yes. Well, who the hell did you think he was when you drafted or when you traded for him? Did you think this was ever going to end well? Benching him will hurt him. Benching him will hurt the entire team. Will hurt him? Well, let me say this to you. Won't hurt him because he's over there. He's protecting his assets, and he's making sure he's not getting injured. It'll hurt the entire football team. You got a $30 million wide receiver who doesn't want to play for you. Hurts. When you could have did something with a hey, let me ask you this. Would you rather fight as a group against another football team with people who want to fight with you? Or do you want to go into a fight with one dude who doesn't want to carry his weight? And the fight is pretty even. And you're going into a fight, and one guy doesn't want to fight, and one guy doesn't want to carry his weight. How do you feel about that? I'd rather go into a fight with a lesser guy than go into a fight with a guy who doesn't want to fight for me or my team. That's not winning. How many times you see teams beat better football teams and better rosters? Hey, get this. The San Francisco 49ers had more fight than the Philadelphia Eagles did in that playoff game. Did they not? Oh, I know it was bad coaching. And yeah, it was bad coaching and bad execution. More so bad execution. One player didn't want to give you his all. And AJ, you had bad coaching. You had guys not on the same page. And you had guys that weren't invested. 49ers wanted it more than you. The 49ers had more guts than you. The 49ers had lesser talent than you, and they beat you. What's your excuse? Here's the Eagle fans' excuse in that game. We had shitty coaching and a player that wasn't on the same page. And a lesser team frickin' beat you. Well, that's on you then. You not showing up and you not having control of your roster. And you let a lesser talented team beat you. Well, that shit happens all the time. I mean, that shit goes down all the time. How many times you see better teams? You're like, how did that team beat that team? You know why? They had everybody in the rowboat rowing in the same direction. When you got two or three miscontents and malcontents inside your rowboat, and two guys are rowing in a different direction, you start rowing in circles. You just start rowing in circles. That's what the Eagles did after week 5. They were rowing in circles because guys weren't on the same page. Coaching, execute, all that shit. And then you see a team like the 49ers. The 49ers started 4 guys who were out walking the street in the previous week and 2 linebackers who weren't even active, and they beat you. That's freaking hilarious. And then you come up with excuses. You make excuses for losing, and you give yourself an off-ramp. That's a character flaw. Bro, you own your mistakes. You own everything you do in your life. My mistakes, I own every one of them. Because it makes me better in my successes. I hate people who look at things and go, well, now it's not my fault. It's shitty coaching. How about showing up and making a play? I mean, go make a play. Sills, was the playoffs lost more on the coaches or the players? Dude, you can't have one without the other. It's an impossible question to answer. Hey, here's something to think about, okay? The 2024 team, the Philadelphia Eagles probably had 5 plays. I'm going to run the ball right there at you and nothing you can do about it. And I'm going to run the ball right over here and I nothing you could do about it because I'm going to kick your ass. You know what? Mike Tyson's right. Everyone's got a plan until someone punches you in the chin. And that plan's out the window when you get hit in the chin. Well, I got a plan for this game. We're going to do this and that. Yeah, then you get hit in the face. All of a sudden, it wobbles your ass. Jalen Phillips, if he's not signed by today, it's over. He's going to test free agency. That doesn't mean he won't sign with Philly over the weekend, but he's going to test free agency. I'm telling you right now, and I'll take that back because I just said if he doesn't sign today, Monday, he could be signed by a team Monday. Philadelphia's got, what is it? You probably have 72 hours left before to make a decision on Jalen Phillips, if you haven't already. Here, Diana Rossini just said, Jalen Phillips has a great market. Well, if I know I have a great market, and I know there's multiple teams, like 10, I know that there's going to be somebody pay me $26 million. I want you to understand something, too. I know some of you don't give a shit about this, but if the Philadelphia Eagles come in with $20 million on a 3-year contract, right? And all of a sudden, there's another team that comes in with 26. That's nearly $20 million. You want Jalen Phillips to just go like this? Hey, fuck it. I don't want the $20 million. I want to play in Philly. You think he should throw $20 million in the garbage can and light it on fire just because you want to go where? I know, dude. You do, though. Seals, can the organization suspend AJ without pay due to conduct detrimental to the team? For what? Talking through a podcaster? He didn't put his name on it. It's easy to get over on that. I never said it. Remember, Albert Breer said, I've talked to the A.J. Brown camp. That doesn't mean he talked to A.J. Brown. And for the record, when AJ's people open their face like that, just like the text message I got from the Patriots, they don't want that bullshit on their team either. Okay? I mean, yeah, Miss Kim just said podcast is probably bullshitting anyway. Yeah, and for the record, right now, remember something too. Right now, in these next 72 hours, there's going to be all kinds of lies because everybody's trying to increase the value of their player and to increase the value of the competition. Like Rashad Gary's agent and Jalen Phillips' agent right now. Okay? Nobody's blaming anybody here. We're not blaming anybody. We're just telling you the way it is. Agreed. Prima donna players making the product weaker. Right now, weaker than circus lemonade. Well, listen, here's something you got to understand about A.J. Brown. So A.J. Brown, last 4 years, Zander put the numbers up. This guy's competitive with any top wide receiver over the last couple of years in every single one of them. So I'm going to show you how some people, no matter what, want to see the world burn. He's competitive with every major wide receiver that's considered a top flight guy. He's got winning. He's 50-18 in the last 4 years. He's got 2 NFC championship rings and a Super Bowl ring. And he's got a $32 million contract, and they've extended him twice. Why is he fucking moaning? Which means this to me. No matter what you do with that guy, he'll never be happy. No matter what you do. So keeping him on a football team like that, again, you know? All right, so somebody who has some insight in AJ. I wonder if he's got the numbers going on right now with AJ Brown. This guy, I wonder if he bets on stuff like this, where AJ's going to land. And here's the book. I can't wait to hear about the movie. Big Sills is going to be in the movie. It's called Book. And it is called Book. Make sure you end up getting yourself a copy right now. It is absolutely kicking ass. And it is one of the best mob books there is out there, too, on Amazon. Without further ado, our friend, the Philly Godfather, he joins us now. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, Dan, man? I don't know if it's a mob book, but there's a lot of shady stuff going on in the book.
Well, I don't know, man. You're pretty close. I mean, I know this. Every time my wife and I and my kid drive by Yuma, they don't put normal dudes in that place, and I just got to tell you that. Walking in shackles and in cuffs, man. I don't know, right?
Yeah, the worst part was it was 122 degrees, like about 3 months out of the year with no air conditioning. And it's considered one of the hottest places in the world. So that didn't help. Surrounded by mass murderers and lifers. And, you're in a supermax prison. Yeah, a little rough to say the least. But we got through it. And now we have the book tour starting back up on March 13th. And, we're having fun.
So wait, it's a max it was a max security place?
Yeah, they had a level 4 Dakota. They had me there for like 3 weeks. And they dropped me down to a regular max. They had the super max. And then a regular max, which is 23-hour lockdown. So handcuff, shackle, control movement. That was
what?
That was a 3-yard. And I stayed there for about a year. And then about 8 months before I overturned my conviction, I was sent up to Kingman, Arizona, which was 10 degrees cooler, which made a world of difference. I mean, in the summertime, you go from 122 to 110. Yeah, it sounds really hot, but it makes a big difference. So yeah, it was kind of rough.
So the tour's back going on. I saw you floating around there. How's that going? And again, how's the book? I mean, people must be really excited when, especially some of the excerpts in it, man. I mean, there's a lot of life lessons. You ended up overturning your conviction and all that. And how's it gone so far? And tell us a little bit about the tour you're back on again.
Yeah, it's doing great. Book sales are through the roof. We start the tour back up. They asked me to speak over the college in Athens, Greece, but with all the turbulence going on over there now, we're not going. But they had asked me if we can get over there for them because I am Greek, 100% Greek, a lot of Greek heritage in the book. So that got canceled. But then we're going to start speaking at colleges again. Like Delaware Valley, we're looking at Villanova, possibly like in maybe May. And a lot of fun, man. The book's been a lot of fun working on the movie. There's so many moving parts when it comes to the movie and so many executives that want to get a piece of it. So we're working on that, and hopefully we can get some stuff finalized by the summertime and get rocking and rolling.
Man, that's really fantastic. I love to hear that. Yeah, I mean, can you see the Philly Godfather right now getting on an airplane going to Greece? I mean, I don't know about that. Even Tom Brady said, yeah, I'm not doing the flag football league over there. I'm having it over here right now. So,
well, the funny thing was I was going to stop over to Turkey. My hair's getting a little thin. Maybe get some plugs in there. It's kind of cheap over there in Turkey. See me come back with a bald head and little plugs in my hair. People think it's a toupee, but it's really my hair. It's just getting a little thin.
I got you, man. You got to get over to Turkey and get them plugs rolling. And you can go over to the Parthenon with the new do. I got it over there, right? There you go. All right, man. So listen, A.J. Brown. Do you believe this man has good connections in with the A.J. Brown folks? And I'm going to ask you about Albert Beer's comments today too as well. But first, do you think he's a Philadelphia Eagle in September?
I'm hoping he is because he's an unbelievable football player. And without him, this Eagles offense will suffer, even though it did kind of lag a little bit last year because of the offensive line. There's only one A.J. Brown in the world. You're not going to find another guy like him. I mean, we all got to be honest. His physical ability, his speed, his hands, everything that he brings to the football field. But if you look at the predictive markets out there, they're saying there's a 54% chance that he is traded. That's not good.
No.
You go to Polymarket, you go to Kalshi. They're all saying he's moving. Earlier in the day, odds went through the roof to the Ravens, and now they're going back down. Now it looks like he's going to go to the Patriots. From the people that I know that spoke to him, I think the only team other than Philly is the Patriots. So if he does get moved, he will go to New England. But Baltimore's making a push, man. And, I don't know how his contract is, the stipulations in there, but it's not as difficult to move him as I once thought. I read some stuff on him. So, between the cap space and different stuff in his contract. But if he's not an Eagle, he's probably going to be a Patriot.
I told you the other day, I want to read you this, and I don't think you've seen this yet, but so I've got a really close friend inside the Patriot organization, and he texted me this, and he works with Elliott Wolf, and I want to get your takeaway on it. And I asked him, I said, A.J. Brown, the talk is 1 and a 3. That's the price. You tell me. Well, I think they want a 2 and a 3. This is what we offered too. He says nobody's giving a 1 and a 2 for a disgruntled dude. So the Patriots have offered a 2 and a 3 right now for A.J. Brown. I mean, what do you make of that?
I don't think that's enough to get it done. Like I said, there's only one A.J. Brown in the world, and he might be disgruntled and he might be frustrated. But if you put him on that field with Drake May and they secure their offensive line, that becomes an extremely dangerous team. Now, they will have a first-place schedule, unlike last season. But with him on that football field, it makes that team that much more dangerous. You know, what are they willing to give up for A.J.? I don't know if he's worth a number 1 and all that, you know, and everything else they're asking for. But if you want to get to the Super Bowl, you got to make sacrifices sometimes, and you got to give a little to get a lot.
And I'll tell you exactly, it was Alonzo Highsmith. He just texted me back saying that I could say his name. Alonzo Highsmith is the senior executive to Elliott Wolf in New England, and they offered a 2 and a 3. So, I mean, I think the more you get closer to the draft, I would say that that's when, you know what, New England's going to have to crap or get off the pot here with that because of the move they made with DJ Moore. You know, I think the Bills are also going to add Mike Evans.
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to put Mike Evans and DJ Moore around Josh Allen this coming season. And to me, that moves the needle a little bit more in Buffalo's favor. And I think that the New England Patriots are going to have to counter that because, remember, the number one thing in the NFL is to win your division. And you've got to draft and you've got to sign to combat the things that are going on in your division. So right now, it is really between the Bills and the Patriots right now. And I think who's going to come out of that in 2026.
I mean, don't sleep on the Ravens. You know, they're watching the Bills make some moves. And if they can pick up A.J. Brown, I mean, with Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and Derrick Henry, that offense all of a sudden is loaded. And then there'll be no more excuses for Lamar Jackson not to get it done in the playoffs. I mean, they always talk about how he didn't have the weapons on offense, but you bring A.J. Brown to town, I think they're currently like 11-1 or 12-1 to win the Super Bowl. They might become the second or third favorite to win it all. Maybe even the odds-on favorite with him on that football team. You got a young, smart head coach. The Ravens become extremely dangerous with A.J. Brown on the football field.
How much does that affect Hurts, you think, if they trade A.J. Brown?
It depends on how, you know, the offense is going to be structured this year. If they're looking to pass the ball more, obviously it's going to hurt them a lot more than it is if they're looking to run the ball more with Saquon. They're looking to secure their offensive line, which wasn't creating the holes last year on the football field, wasn't protecting Jalen Hurts. They just, you know, they didn't look the same. So yeah, if they're looking to go pass heavy, it's definitely going to hurt Jalen Hurts big time.
What do you think the odds are right now for the Eagles right now to win the Super Bowl?
They probably got the 5th best odds behind the Rams, Seattle, Buffalo, and Baltimore. Probably like 12, 13-1, maybe 14-1, right around there. But again, if A.J. Brown, you know, goes somewhere else, those odds are going to drop, probably go down to like the 20-1, 18-1. You know, he's big. He's big.
So, man, I mean, so you could see them maybe fall out of the top 10 if A.J. Brown's not there.
No, not a top 10, but definitely it won't be in the top 4 or 5 no more.
Wow, man. I got to tell you, I think that's, you know, this right here, again, it's a pretty big offseason. Now, there's also conversation going on that Jaylen Carter's name has been floated out in a potential deal that would go to the Raiders for Max Crosby. What's your takeaway on that?
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't trade him for Max Crosby. I don't know. I like Jaylen Carter, man. I don't know. I'm not too high on that idea.
Yeah, see, so now again, you got to remember something. His name was floated out in that Michael Parsons deal.
Yeah. You got to keep them, man. You got to keep these young studs, man. They're hard to find. You know, guy like that. I mean, how many Jaylen Carter out there? I don't know. Those guys are hard to replace.
Okay, so then if you think that he's hard to replace, and by the way, he's a great player. Will they extend him then this offseason because he's eligible for a $30 million a year deal?
I mean, I don't know what Howie's going to do. I don't know. You know, there's stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about, any lingering injuries, anything. You know, I would have to gather all the information to make a strong, educated guess. But from the outside looking in, I would give him the money. You know, that's just my perspective.
All right, so let's go over here. I want to talk to you about the snow cone, a.k.a. Joel Embiid. So, like, where are the Sixers? Is this thing done with the Sixers and Daryl Morey? I mean, can they do anything? Or is this thing again, here we go, we're back in the process again?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many good teams between the Pistons. Celtics are coming on strong. You know, the Knicks are hard to beat. The Cavs. Raptors been playing some good basketball, and here comes the Orlando Magic. The Sixers might be on the outside looking in when it comes to playoff time. The point differential in the year, I'm not even sure if it's a positive. It's either even or like at a +1. I'm not big on this team. It's time to blow it up again. Time to get rid of Embiid. I'm not bullish on the Sixers team at all. Man.
How about the Pistons?
Yeah, they're strong. I mean, it's probably them or the Celtics. You know, coming out the East.
I mean, they're 23-7 at home, and they're 45-16.
Yeah, they got the best point differential in the East. I think it's right around like an average of like 7 points per game, better than their opponents. They've lost a couple games in a row, but Cade Cunningham, great player. Pistons, what they won, 45 games on the season. Yeah, they're a good, solid team, very efficient basketball team.
Over in the West, SGA and the Oklahoma City Thunder team to beat, 49-15 right now.
Yeah, I mean, they got the best point differential in all of the NBA. I had them last year to win it all, +750. I think they won 50 games on the season already, or 49
Not
games?
yet, they're 46.
Yeah, they're 8. I think they won like 8 out of their last 10. It's just a very efficient, very young, very solid basketball.
49 games.
Yeah, they're just, you know, the Spurs are really good. They got that young big guy, Wemby. Yeah, they got him. Rockets, Timberwolves are cute. Nuggets are dangerous in the playoffs. They're battle tested with Joker. Not too big on the Lakers. You know, no one's playing defense over there, but yeah, OKC's a team probably to beat. They got the best odds in the NBA, and they probably got the best player in the entire league in Shaq.
Let me take you to college basketball, and I'll tell you what. One thing has really started rearing its head, and I've asked you this on the weekend show, and I've asked you this here. Am I seeing more of an uptick in gambling this year with the tournament right around the corner? Do you think there's more money that will be laid this year for the NCAA tournament and these conference basketball tournaments than in years past? Because, boy, I'll tell you what, the gambling end of the tournament, now maybe it's just a trend that more things are being like gambled on, and it's becoming more fashionable. There's more apps, there's more ways on you being able to gamble. It's the tournament. No, the phone. Okay, the phone, the apps. Are you seeing that now?
Yeah, it's huge. The market keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's not getting any smaller. You got a lot of prediction markets coming out now. You can bet on them as well, other than the conglomerates like DraftKings, FanDuel, and BetMGM. But it's in your phone. You can bet on anything. Every half a second you can put another wager in. It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary for young college kids. It's kind of scary for the youth. They opened up a can of worms, and they're gonna have to figure out a way to find a happy medium where people don't get in trouble and lose everything they got. I mean, and get addicted to gambling. I mean, it also leads to depression for a lot of people if they can't control themselves. I do it as a business. I've done it since I was 18. I was lucky enough to be in a sports betting office at that age and learn from the best and treat it like a business and turn a profit. But for a lot of people, it starts off as entertainment, and I talk about it all the time. It's kind of like a whiskey. It's kind of like a Molotov cocktail disguised as a whiskey sour. At first it's fun, you're drinking, having a good time. Next thing you know, it blows up in your face. So you got to be really careful. That doesn't happen. And there's going to be some changes. These politicians are looking to make some changes as well, especially in a lot of these college betting props where these college kids playing ball can get in trouble. And you don't want them to take a bite of the forbidden apple, because then you lose the integrity of the sport. and that creates an even bigger problem. It's just it's a can of worms that they opened up, and they're going to have to find a way to to find some solutions quickly.
Well, I'll give you a guy I knew. His name was Six Fingers Luigi, and you see this guy here. And the reason it was called Six Fingers Luigi is because he took your finger, and he told me, and you should have seen Six Fingers Luigi and how he handled people that made bets and how he gave like vig and the juice and all this stuff. Yeah. And so I happen to have been around Six Fingers for a little bit, and so I was around the guy, and the guy goes, "You're a degenerate. You're a degenerate. Here, okay, don't be late on this." And he's telling these people. So do you tell guys, hey, listen, don't bet money that, you can't afford? Do you tell some of these people, like me, because it gets to a point, or you guy like this, hey, look, it's just who you're dealing with.
Now you can preach.
That's how he looked at it.
You can preach till you're blue in the face, and some people just don't listen. It's hard. A lot of people don't have the willpower. You might be down, say you're betting $100 a game and you're down 800 for the week. Well, a lot of people start chasing. Well, you can't do that. Then they start doubling up, and that's how you really get in trouble. Where you got to treat it like a business. You got to have correct bankroll management. You got to bet accordingly. And if you don't find an edge, you just don't place the wager. Every wager I bet, I think I have an edge. And at the end of the year, I might have like a 5% edge over the house. So I'm booking the bookmaker, but the edge is small. It's not that big, but over 365 days, it accumulates and it compounds, and we make a good living. But if I hit 57% on my college basketball wagers, going up against a minus 110 VIG, that's a great year. The break-even point is 52.4%, so I got a 4.5% edge. It's a great season for me. But if you start chasing it just because you're down, then you get in trouble. You start betting games you're not supposed to bet, or on a whim, or your intuition is telling you this team's going to win. No, you got to research each and every game. You got to do your homework. This way, you can form an educated guess that has some weight against the Vegas number, or else you're going to get killed.
Well, I had a friend of mine. His name was Tommy Rothstein, and he was in Vegas when I was living in there. And Tommy Rothstein said this: there's two ways to protect yourself in betting. Put a time limit on it and put a money limit on it. And so he goes, if you did the time limit, okay, no matter what it is, you get out of there, whether you're up or you're down, just get out of there. Because if you stay longer to do what you did, you start chasing your tail. That's when you're there 9 hours, 10 hours, you're sleeping on the floor there. He said this, he goes like, yes, Tommy Rothstein. He goes, put a time limit on it, because if you gotta have guardrails, right? When you're doing
it. It's called bankroll management. Like each wager I place is 1% of my bankroll. This way you can overcome some variance, some bad luck. You losing games in overtime when you're getting +7 on an underdog. Things happen. You're betting on randomness, especially you're betting on young kids, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. And no matter what the metrics tell you, no matter what the stats tell you, the gambling angles, no matter how much the market moves on the side that you bet, you're going to lose sometimes, and you're going to hit some rough street patches. And the only way to overcome those rough patches is to bet accordingly, and not to chase, and not to go crazy. And lots of guys, they'll win betting sports, and they'll go to the casino and bet blackjack and all the other craps, and then they lose it all back, and now they got no money to bet again. So you got to really keep your bankroll, intact, and be ready for the next wager. Because if you do find a huge edge, if you're paying attention, you see two strong offensive linemen, they're not playing this week for the Eagles. Well, that's a great opportunity to bet the other side, regardless of what their record is, regardless of how good they looked over the year. Because you play football, if you don't have a strong offensive line, you don't have a football team.
I tell you this: every time I left the Bellagio, I'm stealing a towel and I'm getting out of there. I'm leaving. I'm leaving with something. I may not leave with money. I go. My wife, when we lived in Vegas, my wife would go to like the Piggly Wigglies there, because that's where you really win your money. You don't win them on the Strip. They build those castles there for a reason, because people lose. Yeah. So you kind of go off the Strip, right? So my wife would come home sometimes with $1,000, $700. Sometimes she'd come home with peanut butter and jelly and bread.
At least you had something to eat.
Absolutely. Here, let me do some college with you here, man. This Houston team and Kelvin Sampson and those guys, man. I mean, look, 13.5 point over Oklahoma State. It's in Stillwater, but how good is this Houston team?
I don't think they're as good as they were last year, where they got 5 losses on the season this year. They're 2-5 against top 25 teams, 5-3 on the road this year. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. Their odds, they were like the 3rd or 4th best odds. Now they're down to like 10-1 to win the whole thing. I didn't bet anything over the weekend yet or today in college hoops, but I'm not big on this team going into the tournament as much as I was last season. Offensively, they look a little better than they were last year, but as an overall team, I don't think they're as good. And if you remember in the tournament last season, they won a lot of close games by 2 points, by 3 points, by 5 points to get there. So it was no cakewalk for them last year. And this year, they're not as good. And at 10-1, I'm not a buyer on that team. I'm actually a seller in Houston this year.
How many college basketball teams do you guys look at as you're getting ready for the tournament? I mean, is this a year-round thing that you're looking at particular teams, or are you looking at like teams that are being looked at as favorites to win the NCAA tournament, or like dark horses, teams that you would pick that would be against the street or against, as you like to say, the money? How do you pick your teams that you really look at and isolate on?
Well, it's all about the price. If you look at what they're giving you back for how good that team is, you're looking for value in the market, just like any other market. Just like when you buy a house or buy a car or anything you're buying, if you think there's some value there, you're going to purchase it, and you're going to have some equity, when you do buy it. Duke, they're at plus 320. Yeah, I think they might be the best team in college basketball. At 3-1, it's hard taking a team like that, even though they might be the best team in college basketball. They've lost twice all season. I think they lost to Texas Tech by like a point. And they lost to North Carolina by like 3 points. But other than that, they've beaten everyone. They beat Michigan. They beat Kansas, Florida, Michigan State, Arkansas, Louisville twice, Virginia, Clemson. This is a team that's I think they're better than they were last year. They're ranked number 1 in defensive efficiency. I think they're like top 5 in offensive efficiency. They can shoot from the 3-point line. Their 3-point defense is probably one of the best in college basketball. I think they're ranked like 3rd in opponent 3-point defense. It's just one of those better teams this year that they arguably got the best player in the country. They got 2 bigs down there down low. They're a little young. They got a great coach and what's his name, John Scher. Yep. I mean, Boozer's unbelievable. Like I said, maybe the best college basketball player. So, and it feels like it's kind of like their year, right? Because they won it in 91 and 92, and then they won it in 01. And it seems like since 01, they won it every 10 years, 01, 2010, and 2015.
I like that win over Michigan, by the way. I thought that win over Michigan was big.
Yeah, that was huge.
They lost TJ in that game, Michigan, but boy, I'll tell you.
Yeah, Michigan was ranked number 1 when they beat them this year. So
that's right.
Right. But you only get 3-1 on your money. Michigan again, another good team. They only got 2 losses on the year. Obviously, they lost to Duke at home, and they lost to Whiskey, which surprised me a little bit. But to me, they're the 2 juggernauts along with Arizona. And then if you're looking to bet some sleepers, I guess Alabama's got great guard play. Guard play comes out big. In the tournament, they got a great head coach in Oates. Florida, battle tested. They won it all last year. It was 19-1
They've won 9 in a row. No, 9, 10 in a row now.
Yeah, they got a good backcourt. I don't know if they are as good as they were last year. Arkansas at 60-1, 13-1 to make the Final Four. They got elite guard play. That kid Acuff is unbelievable, and they run at a really fast pace. Their defense isn't the best. They got a great coach in Calipari. Purdue at 40-1. They're probably going to be a number 3 seed. They're 8-3 on the road this year, 3-0 on a neutral court. I think they're like 4-4 against top 25 teams. They can shoot from the 3-point line, arguably the best point guard in the nation with Braden Smith. They're a sleeper. Hurricanes, I gave to you last time, they were like 300-1. They won 24 games on the season.
Yeah.
They beat North Carolina. They're 8-2 on the road. This is another team that, I don't think they can win the whole thing, but if they can get to the Sweet 16, you can hedge your bet and make some free money defensively. Yeah. They're elite. They're like 35th in the nation. Wisconsin at 100-1. They're probably going to be like a 5 or 6 seed in the West, but they beat Michigan. They beat Illinois at Illinois. They beat Michigan at Michigan. They beat Michigan State at home. They beat 3 pretty good teams, and they're giving you 100-1 on this team. This could be like an Elite 8 ball club. They could go far.
What about my UConn? What about UConn? What do you make of them? I mean, there's Hurley. I talked to Jim Calhoun a couple weeks ago, and he said it's not quite the same team, but they're getting better. They're like number 4 now. They got a pretty good game against Marquette this weekend. So, what do you make of them?
I mean, who did they lose to? They lost to Arizona, St. John's. The scary part is they lost to Creighton as 15-point favorites. Now that could just be, a fluke.
St. John's got destroyed too, so it could be a fluke, like you said.
Yeah, but they beat Kansas, which is, I think they're like a 35-1 to win the whole thing. Kansas, they're okay. They beat Florida, who isn't as good as they were last year. They beat Illinois, that is actually a pretty good team, and they beat BYU. I think they got 5 kids that average 10 points or more per game. They've been turning the ball over too much, in my opinion. Their guard play isn't the best. They foul a lot. The opposing teams get to the foul line a ton against them. Inside, they rely too much to me. I think from the 3-point line, they rely too much from the 3-point shot. They're not getting a lot of interior scoring, so that scares me a little bit if they're looking to go deep. Because you got a team that, turns the ball over a lot. Their guards aren't the best. No interior scoring, and you're relying on a 3-point line a ton. If you get cold, in March Madness, you're not going to win those games. So, they did win 27 games this year, but I'm not big on UConn now. Are they an Elite 8 team? Probably, but after that, it gets really tough for that squad.
How about Iowa State? They got Arizona State. Arizona State had a big win the other night. I mean, they've been a kind of a funny team this year because Iowa State's gone up and down. They're one of those dark horse teams that are outside the top 4, like you said. They're not like quite Duke in Michigan and Arizona and Houston and those teams, but Iowa State, I hear a lot of love for that team.
Yeah, you probably get them at 22-1 to win the whole thing. I don't know if they can get there. I don't even think they can get to the Final Four, to tell you the truth. Their average opponent ranking this year is like at 108, which isn't the best. They're 4-3 against top 25 teams. They're like 5-5 on the road this season. Teams that went on the road usually go deep in in March Madness. So at 22-1, I don't think those odds justify that team going deep. They look good on paper, top 10 offense and defense, but I'm not big on them.
Let me do one more with you here. Old school Duke, North Carolina this weekend, probably one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports, not just in college basketball. That's Tobacco Road. That's the old school there, I mean, Krzyzewski versus Dean Smith back in the day. I mean, right? I mean, that's a pretty – I watched that game. I liked that game. That game still to me is and I think it's at Cameron Indoor, if I'm not mistaken. So what do you think of that thing?
I don't know. I'm not big on North Carolina at all this year. They got 24 wins on the season? I'm not even sure. I got to look it up. Yeah, but
they've gone up and down, like you said.
Yeah, they've been so inconsistent. They just, I hate betting on teams that are inconsistent. They're not teams I'm looking to invest in. I'm looking at teams when they lose close games. They beat some of the better teams. They have a tougher, strength of schedule. They're the kind of teams I'm looking to invest in. A team like North Carolina, it's hard to put money down on that team, whether it is to go for, in March Madness, or to bet them on a day-to-day basis. It all depends on who they're playing, obviously. But again, North Carolina, they did win 24 games this year, 4-5 on the road. Against teams ranked in the top 25. I think they're 4-2, and teams between 26th and 50th, they're just 3-2. So, but against a team like Duke, I mean, Duke's the cream of the crop. I'm not looking to bet on North Carolina there.
So I have one last question for you. How'd you eat your soup if your hands were cuffed and your feet were cuffed 24/7? Like, were you? And how did you, I don't know, man. I mean, I think going to the bathroom might be a problem if you're cut. Were your feet and hands cuffed 24/7?
Well, I didn't eat any soups while I was locked up. I went in weighing like 210. I came out weighing $160. I didn't eat carbs for 2 years. All I did was work out, no carbs at all for 2 years. So all those ramen noodles and stuff, guys were eating them and getting fat. I wasn't eating none of that stuff. Now, control movement is every time you go to the library, you get handcuffed and shackled, whether you got to go to see the counselor or whatever. But no, you're not handcuffed when you're eating a chow or, when you're in the cell. So, but yeah, I didn't have no carbs for 2 years, man. I came out shredded. I came out ripped. I'll tell you a funny story though. You know, I was in there with a bunch of killers, mass murderers. Everyone's doing life. I'm like one of the few guys not, doing life or with huge time. So one day it was like 120 degrees and they were letting out for yard. That was the 1 hour we had for yard. And I walk out there. We had to put socks on our hands and arms to do pull-ups because you grab the pull-up bar, you're going to burn your hands off.
Yeah.
So I'm out there. I turn around. No one else is coming out. So the only people on the yard is me and like 4 of the cuckoo birds, guys that talk to themselves and screaming and laughing at themselves. So I told myself this is an opportunity to make these guys in there think I'm nuts. So I start screaming at the top of my lungs. Now they were all, I could see them all like, by the housing units. And it's me and the crazy lunatics on the yard. I start screaming at the top of my lungs, is this all you got? It's not hot enough. I want it hotter, right? And then the cuckoo birds would repeat what I was saying. He wants it hotter. He wants it hotter.
Cuckoo birds.
So I would do these sprints and I'm sweating. I would do these pull-ups. I would superset. And I was trying to act like I was out of my mind so they would think I was a little crazy too, so they don't mess with me. And the funny thing is I almost passed out. So I had to slow down a little bit. I'm like, wait a second, I'm doing a little too much.
God, man.
And then when the yard was over, I walked inside it, and they were all just looking at me a little differently. So it was kind of like a little bit of a bluff.
Yeah.
I was a little crazy too, dude.
Hey, Vato.
It's not hot enough. It was 120 degrees.
Hey, man, this guy's screaming, Attica. Hey, man, tell the folks where they can find you, my good friend.
Yeah, on X is Philly Godfather. The website's thephillygodfather.com. And you can grab the book at phillybook.com. If you go there, I'll send you out an autographed copy. It may take 3 to 7 business days. If you go to Amazon, ship to order, probably have it the next day, but it won't be signed. You go to Barnes & Noble, and the book tour starts back up March 13th at the Brew Room in Ardmore, Pennsylvania.
We will see you soon, my friend. Thank you so much.
Good luck, guys.
That is the greatness of Philly Godfather. We appreciate our combo each and every single week. Paying some bills here. Our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America. For a reason. It's because they win. Folks, I tell you this all the time. If you've ever been injured on the job, this will be the easiest decision you ever make in your life. John and Ultima Morgan put this company together with their family because John's brother got hurt on the job, and it is a true story. Do me a favor, ever injured, they will take your case. And by the way, they don't get paid unless you win. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Hey, you should keep an eye on Zander this weekend because I think some news can happen over the weekend here with Jalen Phillips and maybe potentially A.J. Brown. I don't believe anything with Jaylen Carter, so we will see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the flip side.